Adventure begins in a stone building with a slate roof that's pretty famous and popular among Waterdavian locals. The Yawning Inn Portal, a tavern owned by an ex open lord, Durnan. The portal offers guest rooms on three upper floors and has well-worn boards covering the floor, but and everything's like very like lush and comfortable. There are rich blue tapestries decorating the wood-paneled walls of the common room, which consists of a bar and tables of stout and sturdy wood. Um, the inn is famous for, well, the yawning portal that is in the center of the common room. It is a massive dry well that is a direct entry into the Undermountain. It's one of a few known entryway portals, and they're just this massive well that is in the center of the room, about 40 feet in diameter, and is just located in the center between some bar and dining tables. It is, la la la, sorry. But yes, and it's always bustling with several locals and lots of people. It's hard to like find a day where the yawning portal isn't massively crowded. Some people taking bets on the callers, as they are referred to, the adventurers who have heard the call of adventure to go into the Undermountain, and so it's not uncommon to, you know, have people sitting around and have like doing bets for like the crazy so and so that went down last week and how long it'll take them to come running back. And if you ask Durnan, the innkeeper, he just kind of gives a steely eye and tries to talk anybody he doesn't think can actually make it out of there. But he's a man of few words. But it is a massive portal in the center of the room, and it, well, leads to the Underdark. And in this tavern, we find you all. So why don't we go around and do the thing where you describe your character and what you're doing, and we'll go from there. Um, who would like to go first?
Sniffles Jigglesworth is sitting by the bar, probably has some sort of drink in his hand after a long day of working, or what he thinks is working, probably not doing too much, probably nothing too exciting happening today. He's a very, very stout gnome, very very chunky boy. His all white hair and a long white beard. Um, Other than that, probably just looking around the bar and seeing what's going on. But yep, that's Sniffles.
All right. Uh, Jade, would you like to go next?
Sure. So Delilah Tam, Del to her friends, is probably sitting in a booth. She's got a bottle of something in front of her, small pile of coins that she seems to be kind of counting. Uh, if you don't pay close enough attention to her, you think she's just really focused on what she's doing, but she's got an eye kind of wandering around the room, looking to see who she might know, what trouble she might be able to get herself into. And she's just kind of counting her coins, drinking, and looking to see who might be around.
All right. Well, you recognize several familiar faces, Delilah. Probably you would probably notice. Well, you know that Benny is with you because I'm gonna go ahead and kind of say that you're maybe showing him the ropes since he's new to town. This might be
Who's,
his first time to the yachting portal under your tutelage,
Sure.
who's Benny?
Benedict. Liam, would
I
you
think
like
you,
to describe?
I think you might find that this young man is known as Rookie by pretty much everyone.
Absolutely.
He doesn't look as handsome in this photo. It's just there's so many brooding rogues. I couldn't find a single one that wasn't like, oh, I'm so deep and angsty. So I had to find one who looked like only slightly angsty and isn't wearing all black. He's a young man, probably just turned 18. He's called Rookie because he's done pretty much every job there is to do in Waterdeep. But he's only done them for like a week because he's not very good at anything. He just kind of he runs. He's a bit sneaky, and he kind of can get away with being unnoticed, just because he's a bit normal, considering there's a really chunky gnome kicking about. He just looks terribly normal. He's just trying his best. Miss, what's Delilah's last name?
Tam.
One more time, sorry.
Tam. Tam.
He's just trying to do his best, Miss Tam.
How many times do I gotta tell you? Call me Delilah, or you can call me Del.
Okay, Miss Delilah.
Count your coins quick. And put them away.
What's my
Or the
intelligence? Okay, my intelligence is okay. I know how to count. He begins counting slowly.
Quicker than that, they're gonna grow legs and walk the walls in you, and they're gonna leak out of you.
He counts faster.
Excellent. And then another familiar face to you, Delilah, would be that of Javier yeah. So Dan, why don't you go ahead and describe Javi?
Can he just be coming in?
Of course.
Thank you. So Javier, or Javi, or Have, or Zav, or goes by a lot of different names depending on who can manage to speak closest to his mother tongue. So Javier de Tashluta is from Tashluta, a city far down south in Tashala near Cholt. And he's of a noble family. And he is incredibly common sight at many of the different bars in town, and is known to be sort of a center of many drunken evenings and nights. He strolls in looking pretty like he does in the picture. So there is one of him like dressed up, though he's not really dressed up right now. But he has this mostly humanoid appearance with the slight tinging of red. The horns has little like not all of his teeth are fangs, but he just has like the vampire kind of fang thing going on. And a lot of, and he's dressed very well in kind of exotic looking clothing, lots of kind of sun patterns and swear upon. I think he's got like a waistcoat maybe on at the minute and like a puffy shirt. And at the bar, potentially. The proprietor? No.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Is Dernan
Dernan is always at the bar.
at the bar? We had connections too.
Mm-hmm.
Dernan, my darling, how are you?
Evening.
Is my internet screwing up?
I think mine is screwing up. I replied with evening.
Oh. It is a good one. Could I have one of those and one of those and one of those and one of those? And he just points to like 4 different bottles.
Usual table.
He looks around and sees Tam. I think I will take it over there, if you don't mind.
He just kind of grunts and starts cleaning out several of his fancier glasses for Javi, and orders points to the bottles that you indicated to the barmaid to carry over to you.
You put such passion into your work. It is good to see. And he gives him like a fanged grin.
You see him kind of like one corner of his mouth kind of turn up, but he quickly hides it, and there's like a crowd of regulars in like on like the side of the bar that like start like going, "Oh yeah, he smiled, holy shit, he smiled," and they're like taking a shot, and and then you continue on your way to Delilah.
Yeah, he's probably uh, walking over with Bonnie. It's good to have company, Tam.
Yeah, Abby, how the hell are you?
Very well, very well. What did we meet 2 days ago in a similar booth?
Yeah, and if we get up to half the amount of trouble we did that night, it's gonna be a rocking evening. You know Rookie, right?
I vaguely remember a hazy shape that matched you, and he kind of like in front of you, like his hands kind of do the kind of curvy motion. Yes, I think if you shake a little, yeah, I recognize you.
Benedict Jewell. Most people call me Rookie. And
Ah,
he extends his hand in a very like he like stands, brushes his tunic, and extends his hand.
and such a jewel you are. And he like picks you up in like a hug. Not like huge crushing thing, but kind of like a full embrace.
Are
You
all tieflings
feel
this
his
friendly?
beard like against your cheek.
Are all tieflings this friendly?
Just this one.
Oh
Oh,
no, I knew one from back home in Blackmere.
well, you
Mr.
did.
Glamour was always really friendly.
Glamour, you say? Sounds
Mm-hmm.
like a fine job. A lot of people are very dreary in this city. Uh, Not like my home. Everyone is very serious and dour. And he kind of like puts on a bit of a face. Maybe we shall have to meet.
All right. Uh, sorry. All right.
That's
Alright, you're
okay.
good.
I think there's a delay, so it's okay.
No, yeah, and so there are some familiar faces that Delilah and Javier seem some new or some newer faces. John and Amber, one of y'all describe your characters to the regs?
Sure. So my character is Vethia, also known as Food Chaser. Um, she, despite being a very large woman, she's about 7.5 feet tall. Despite that, she's actually barely noticeable in the room. She's just kind of sitting towards the back, watching very astutely. Um, but just taking in everything that she can, and yeah, she's a Goliath, by the way. And
An important distinction.
yes.
So Velmides is sitting at the bar. He has a pitcher of water and a glass of wine. He's tall, skinny human. He's even after weeks of not writing anything down, his hands are still stained with ink. And what he's basically doing is taking a sip from the glass of wine, almost retching, adding water to it, and just kind of doing that until it's mostly water, and then drinking it and kind of repeating that over and over again.
Right, so these two unfamiliar faces kind of catch your eye because they don't seem to be from Waterdeep, and they don't seem to be too interested in the yawning portal in the center of the yawning portal. And you recognize some of like the other people around the bar. Like there's Bonnie, of course, the barmaid who's always here, and then there's Matrim, the bard. He's plinking in the corner on his 3-string lute. It's not meant to be 3 strings, but it just has 3 strings left. And then there's Yallister Silvermane, who's actually a pretty well-known figure here in Waterdeep. So, Javier probably might know who he is best, but is an agent of the Lord's Alliance who reports directly to L'Ariel Silverhand, who is the current open lord in Waterdeep. And he basically just, is sitting around and likes to keep an eye on adventurers who might be venturing into the portal, just trying to make sure that people are just keeping an eye on things. And
Sorry,
then
what was that name? Not the L'Oreal Silverhand, the guy that you were describing in this bar.
Jallister Silvermane.
Okay. Sweet.
Let's see. And then a well-known figure in the Forest Grey who has actually recently returned from an expedition to the Underdark sits in another corner. A Meloon War Dragon is a Chundalan human, so he's like big, burly with like shortcut blonde hair, and he's got like this massive battle axe in one hand. They're so different. A massive battle axe, or that is strung over his back, and it's one of like the finest weapons that you could ever see. It kind of just gleams with like this bluish like azure edge, and he's like a well-known skilled fighter, and with some renown as being someone who Force Grey, as some of you guys might know, are a group of basically adventurers who just try to protect people, and the Force Grey are pretty like good at that, and they have like griffin riders and like all sorts. And then there's a Chelton priestess in one corner. There's always a priestess or cleric of some sort in the Yawning Portal that Durnan kind of has like an arrangement with several of the temples where he kind of donates a little bit to them, and they always make sure that there's a cleric on hand, because in case someone comes out of the portal and needs medical attention quickly. So he just kind of has that as an arrangement. There's always some sort of cleric, and this one has been about for a few months now. She's like one of the regular clerics that come to tend, with a priestess with a symbol of Joaquin, the god of commerce. And then there's a couple of other figures. There's a half-orc female that you guys see here rather often, who's kind of body and is constantly getting into arm wrestling contests with people. And so, what are you guys all gonna do?
So I guess Delilah will notice the figure at the bar who's doing the strange things with the wine, and kind of just be like, gesture a little bit with kind of like pointing with her chin, and be like, "Oh, what do you make of that?"
Harvey looks and then watches as he waters down his wine, not once, twice, but thrice, and he's just his like hand goes to his mouth. That is heresy. That wine was once, mostly wine. Fans himself for like a little bit.
Javier, or Javi, why don't you roll me a perception check?
I should have dice, and I will. Is there more to see from this travesty?
Some people just don't like wine.
Do not say that to me. Hey, you might know, because he probably has told you in even one night or 1 hour of being together, that his family ships wine around the world, as well as
that's
other
definitely the
things.
kind of thing Rookie would say and put his foot in his mouth.
Yes. That was 15.
It is not one of your families.
Oh,
It's probably the cheapest one you can buy.
Definitely not one of your families.
mhm.
Still watering it down. Awesome.
I still, it is a sad sight to see. Let him right, Tam? Together? Send the rookie?
Wait, what am I doing?
Well, why don't you go find out exactly what he's doing? I'll see if I have a bottle of something decent I can sell him, and we can all stand to profit.
Oh,
That
okay.
sounds like a plan.
Bonnie
Yeah,
comes by with like the 4 bottles that Javier has always already ordered, and they just kind of like clink together, ting, 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 and then she scuttles off.
Bonnie, you are an angel, he shouts as she retreats. And he will grab one of the one whatever is on his left. He's going right to left. No, left to right this evening. Um,
Oh, he's changing it up.
yeah.
At Miss Delilah's request, Ricky's gonna go sit beside John. What was your character's name? Sorry,
Vilmedes, he's Vel.
Vil.
Mhm.
Okay. Next to the strange person says, "Hi, my name is Benedict Jewell. Most people call me Rookie. I wanted to find out what are you doing."
Hi, Benedict. I'm trying to drink to forget. I've heard people do this, but wine tastes horrible, so it's difficult for me. So I'm trying this, and it's I'm not getting anywhere. It's been a few days now.
I have a friend who can sell you something that tastes a lot better.
Durnan kind
I'm-
of grumples at you.
Maybe.
Might take you up on that. Yes,
sorry?
let's see what your friend has to offer.
Follow me. And then
Okay.
he like hobbles over to the table where Delilah is. This is Miss Delilah and Mr. Javier.
You're getting better at that. You are. And he like
blushes.
pats you on the cheek.
He blushes.
Yeah. So Velmedes would sit down, and he's I've been led to believe you have something that might taste a little better than the wine here. I honestly am not much of a drinker, so anything that would be better than that would definitely I'd find very helpful if you please. Thank you.
So Delilah will kind of rummage through her bag and kind of pull a bottle out and put it back. Another bottle out, dust off the label, and be like, "Okay, this will work. 5 gold."
What? Hold on a second. I just rolled a 23 on a history check. Is she hosing me?
For a single bottle of wine, most definitely.
Yeah, he knows how much wine costs and stuff, and yeah, he's like, no, that's far too expensive for that vintage. It was, and then it just annotated list of where it came from and the process it went through to be made.
My, it sounds like we have an employee.
No, I just spend my time studying. I benefited from a classical education.
Yeah, but what you were just doing to that wine over there, which according to my friend was a crime, you shouldn't know
He
anything
nods.
about this.
Well, legally speaking, it's not a crime, no. And I know plenty about it. It's just it tastes horrible. So
Believe me, friend, if you did that to Tash Luton beverage in Tashala, you would find yourself bloody on the street. May not be a crime here, but
Well,
some places.
All right, I will give this to you at a discount. 1 gold.
I'd be willing to accept. Is it just a bottle of wine?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'd be willing to accept that. And he gives
It's
you a gold, and he takes the wine and kind of pours out the dregs of what he was drinking, and tries the wine, and tries it straight, and it's an immediate reaction of just kind of he's sitting at the table and just turns around, plants both feet on the ground, kind of facing out from wherever we're sitting, and just head down, hands on knees, just kind of doing the heavy breathing thing, like he's gonna puke.
Oh, I don't know whether to offer you a seat or to kick you out.
Javier's just like looking at the pool of wine on the floor, like, oh, such a waste.
Why don't you sit down and we'll stick to water?
I mean, I do have a goal in mind. I'm trying to have something to drink, but this is just awful, and everything else I had is very similar reaction. I just never had any wine or anything growing up. I was at Kendall Keep, and that kind of thing I honestly didn't do. Leaving my cubicle was just it was difficult for me.
Have you tried ale or other spirits, or just wine?
Oh yes, that went equally well. The child wine was the child beer was palatable in that I could drink it, but it wasn't getting me where I needed to be. So I was just trying the watered wine this evening.
Did they make you drink candles at this keep? How?
No, we make books there.
That sounds fascinating, and you can tell.
Did you keep books?
It is it is intensely fascinating and diatribe about bookmaking.
I preferred it more when you talked about wine. Then
Ricky
you were
listens intently.
infinitely more employable.
Yeah, well, it's many subjects are of interest to me. I was the book binding was fascinating, and for a time I looked at the history of Waterdeep, but I was to visit here, and I was looking into the history of the city, and it was just quite fascinating. And I read about the Yawning Portal and the people that tend to come here. It was all very interesting, and I figured after things went poorly for me for the reason for my trip, I would just come here and try and come to terms with what I'd done, because I know when I get back, this bastard Metzger is going to be trying to sell his annotated indexing system to everyone else at Kendall Keep, and then I'm going to have to index the entire library again. And I'm not looking forward to that, honestly.
You really just don't have a filter, do you?
Not really, no.
Javier then was like interested and then not interested at all, and then you said like trip and he perked and then went back to not being interested. Then he said bastard and he perked again. He's just like drifted away.
I tell you what, why don't you join us? And we can help you finish off that bottle of wine you bought.
Certainly. He sees zero interest in actually finishing it.
That's okay, we'll finish it for him. And
wine has a lot of value academically and to the common man. The kingdoms have been built on it. You not take any interest in the historic profession?
I take a lot of interest in the historic profession.
You just can't stomach the product.
Oh no.
I'm not sure I've met someone, apart from children, I'm not sure I've met someone so adverse to it. In fact, I've met children that are much less adverse to it. Noble parties, it gets crazy.
It's just not something I've ever tried, and I'm trying it now. I'm trying new things, a lot of new things of late, and that happens to be one of them.
Trying new things is important. I try a new thing every week.
There we have it. A man with a noble goal to experience the world, whatever it puts in front of him. And he kind of like puts his hand on his shoulder, and then he's going to turn back to this anathema for everything he believes in. Why don't you try taste the flavors? The bouquet. You could write about it. Maybe a blending of your passions and ours.
I was tasting it. Yes. So the bouquet would be. Let me. I've read up on wine tasting. Let me try this. I honestly admit I was just trying to get drunk rather than
Oh,
actually enjoy the wine. So allow me, and then he just.
Why not both?
Well, yeah.
What he needs to do is like take sips. Some wines aren't meant to be, gulped.
Thank you, buddy. That is prime advice as always.
And then looking at the bottle of wine you have, he basically what would be a textbook version of a sommelier wine tasting just goes through the entire thing,
Mhm.
and
Oh, don't
same
spit!
exact
No,
reaction.
don't spit it on the floor. No. Oh. Oh.
I don't know how I feel about this. He's already paid for the product, but still.
That is because you care. And he like points like a motivational speaker or something. You
So,
care about your work, damn.
Velthea, is that how we say it?
Vethia? Yeah.
Vetia, okay. Vetia, you just you're at a nearby table, like I will say like the neighboring one, and you've kind of like half heard most of this exchange, and then like the standing human like turns around and like spits like near your feet,
oh
spits
shit!
spits wine out at your feet.
Oh no!
It's great.
Okay. Um, so I'm gonna stand up and walk over to the table.
Javier kind of
And
like leans down in the booth a bit just to like get perspective.
and I'm let's see, I'm
Nearly 8 foot tall Goliath barbarian.
yep, yep. So I just kind of crack my knuckles a little bit and then just kind of just go all goofy all of a sudden, and I'm just like, I why did you do that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to experience the bouquet of the wine. If you actually, what one is to do, and then it's basically a teaching experience. Now he's trying to teach Vetya how to taste wine and trying to describe what basically other people described as the bouquet of the wine, but he has no idea.
It's a bit dry. That's a descriptor, right?
It
What,
is, Rookie. It is.
Oh, that was me. That wasn't Rookie. Rookie has no idea.
Oh,
He doesn't even know that the dry is a descriptor.
Now he said it's said to have hints of graphite. Now I've never chewed on graphite. Once or twice I was studying medicine and actually ate charcoal. It's for poisons, so I assume it's similar. Chemically they are, but I'm not entirely certain.
Javier is just like looking at town, like wide-eyed, like what is going on?
Vethia just grabs the bottle and just downs the whole thing in one gulp and says, "No, I don't see it."
I couldn't either. That's why I spat it out.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Should I charge them both for the wine?
You can try.
I wouldn't.
Yes, please try.
I wouldn't. I would.
You're right, Ricky.
Javier is
Big woman. I am not gonna get away with that.
Javier like jumps up onto the seat of the booth, so he's at least he's like tall-ish, but obviously you're much taller. Maybe with the booth, he's almost head height.
With his horns.
With the horns, yes. And he like offers her his hand. I am Javier de Tashluter, and I've not seen a woman as large as you in ever. He quite some time. He like looks around. Yeah.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Javier. I haven't really seen anyone as tall as me either. I am just trying to stay out of the way, but at the same time, I'm really needing to make some coin. I've basically am just looking to get out of my current situation, and
That current situation being a lack of coin.
a severe lack of coin.
There's a little bit of coin going around this booth. Is there something you would like to do for the coin? And he's like looking at your probably incredibly muscled arms and whatever weapon you are wielding.
That would be a great axe.
Cool.
Yep. And yeah, just I'm pretty good at bashing heads and carrying things. I'm quite strong.
Everybody needs things carried.
Yes.
He's just nodding along.
Yeah.
Those are two very important skill sets.
We do have a shipment coming in next week. We can use an extra couple of hands to move some crates. I mean, I don't know how much it pays.
I should be able to help with that.
Maybe we can teach you about something about wine at the same time.
Based on what I've had so far, sure. Yeah, that'd be okay.
It's a
Excellent.
bottle.
As my colleague Dan says, we are selling wine out of this establishment.
Listen, I mean, or you can get it from. We could recommend something from the bar.
Well, again, there's a bit of a lack of coin.
Tell you what.
Also,
the wine is 1 gold. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, also, Delilah, you know that Dernan gets kind of cross if you sell like more than one or two.
Yeah, I know.
It's worth saying hello.
He like at one point, like the longest like conversation you've ever had with him was whenever he told you, if you want to fucking sell wine, get your own fucking bar. And that was like the most words you've ever heard him like string together in one sitting.
I know. I've got a couple more bottles that I can sell, and I did say I would recommend something from the bar. And I usually recommend the most expensive stuff per our arrangement.
That is why you're allowed to sell one or two.
I'll tell you what. My friend here has a bottle of wine for 1 gold, and I have 1 gold here. Consider it a deposit, a payment for your services. And he will hold out a gold coin to you.
Okay. I take it and put it in my pocket and say, thank you. I will buy my wine later, please.
You're smarter than you look, friend.
He kind of like folds his arms a little bit and gives you like this fanged grin. As long as you promise it is going to wine, then I do not mind.
Fair enough.
Right. Speaking of money not going towards wine, Andrew, what is Sniffles Jigglesworth doing?
Still sitting at the bar, looking around. Is there anybody walking around, not necessarily sitting down at tables, being a little bit more drunk than they might need to be?
Give me a perception check. It's still kind of early in the evening.
Yeah.
But people have probably been drinking since early, late morning. If medieval fancies anything to go by.
Right, perception check. So that's going to be a 16.
Nice. So yeah, there are like a few inebriated tavern folk or whatever. There's a couple of people that are just kind of that as Liam said, have been in their cups since probably getting off work, and they've already spent most of like their coin getting to where they are right now. And of course, like you recognize Delilah, and because you've done a little bit of work with her at some point.
Well, nobody that she's talking to, but anybody else, if I can hear some coins jingling. It's been a little bit since I've gotten some of my powder, and I don't have any coin, so yeah. I'd like to see if I can't pickpocket somebody around here.
Okay, yeah, there's the like the group of youths that were at like the corner of the bar that were, doing shots whenever Durnan was half smiled at Javier. They seem kind of they're doing that, like, college boy not knowing when to stop kind of drinking. There's like a couple of them that are kind of like leaning on the bar.
My favorite kind of drinking.
Awesome. I will waddle my way over there.
And like you're like a gnome, so like you come up to like, the about like, the upper thigh of like one of them, and he's just kind of like leaning on like his friend, and this is like, and then this is the portal, and like they're like every once in a while, like he tries to like break off to like go like point at like, the big open uh hole in the center of the tavern, but like his friends keep kind of looping him in, because if he walks over that direction, it doesn't matter that there's a waist high wall, he'll still like fall over it and fall in. So
Awesome. I'm going to pretend that I'm also drunk and start stumbling into all of them, checking their pockets.
okay,
Oh,
give me a sleight of hand check.
it's going to be a 17.
Yeah, okay, they don't notice. And I will say you managed to get, one of them must have had their birthday, because they had 7 gold.
Do I
Stealing their
see?
birthday money.
Do
Yep.
I see any shady looking people at the bar that might have wares? I have coin.
Dur- Durnan's place is not usually the kind of place people go to acquire the thing that you are
I shall keep that
seeking.
in mind, but I shall wait.
Yeah, and like you kind of like wander away, like, and you see like Durnan kind of giving you like a stink eye over like the drunk
Yeah,
bros.
and I'll just give like a tap to my nose to Delilah, towards Delilah, saying that I got my score, and so anytime we can leave here, that'd be nice.
You gonna go hang out with her and her new? She's got some unfamiliar people at the table.
I'll keep my distance for now. I'm not too much of a friendliest guy, but I'll get closer.
All right, all right, all right. And so you guys kind of sit back and sit around the wooden booth, and you know the and eventually like you drink and converse, and you're drink and converse, and a little bit of time passes, and there's like the sounds of people gambling over things. There's like a group poker game going off over, or a 3 dragon ante game going off over in one corner, and a couple of other gamblers, and some drunken adventurers that are now singing like bawdy love songs. They're in like the third verse of My Bearded Lady, which is a dwarven love song. It's very popular in Waterdeep. And then through all of the noise is kind of like interrupted with a loud shout, and it's just like, "Oi, you pig! Like killing my mates, doos ya?" And then a 7-foot tall half orc is hit by a wild swinging punch from a male human with a shaved head, and who's covered with eye-shaped tattoos all across his bald head, nape, whatever you want to call it, his skull. 4 other humans stand behind him, ready to jump the half orc, and this half orc woman kind of stands up, rolls a shoulder, and cracks her knuckles, roars, and then leaps at the bald man. And before you can see what happens, a crowd of spectators kind of like close in around them and just like start yelling and like going, "Yeah, fight Yagra, kick his ass!" Ah! What would you guys like to do? This woman and man are like laying into each other.
Well, that happened a little earlier this evening than usual.
That looks like fun.
By all means, If you wish to carry them both away.
Yeah, Yagra the half orc is kind of like laying into like this human and like getting like a good like sock across his jaw, and like the crowd all goes ooh as like like spittle and blood kind of like go everywhere, and he's like holding his jaw, and there's like a cracked like oh bitch you cracked my tooth, and like his friends kind of like look like they're putting down like their tankards, and they're getting ready to like gang up on this chick 5-1.
Oh, you said Yagra?
Yes.
Right. He kind of he's leapt onto a table just to like, get a better view. Leave some for the rest of us, Yagra. Oh wait, behind you!
She like ducks as like one of the guys swings. Those who wish to get involved, please roll initiative.
Uh,
I haven't decided yet, but I'm gonna roll anyway.
I'm gonna roll because I might get
Yeah.
involved
I'll
at like
roll
a
too.
distance.
Can I not get involved but bet on the outcome?
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's actually like someone not very far off that is like oh I got your 2-1 for Yagra.
All right. Well, since I'm a smart gambler, I'll bet 5 of the 7. Keep that 2 gold.
Yeah.
All right, so if she wins, you'll get back 10 gold.
All right.
But she is
And I'm
outnumbered.
gonna look at Delilah. Yeah, get in there! Get in there! She needs some help.
What the fuck, dude? I gotta make a profit off these guys.
Velmides has gotten far back in the booth as he possibly can, climbing over people if necessary.
I'm gonna put a hand on Vethi's shoulders, like while I'm standing on the table. I probably can reach her shoulder and go, I've got your back. Let's live a little.
Excellent.
All right, initiative from the folks getting involved. Oh, you have it
I
written down.
popped mine in the messages.
Thank you. Rookie is at 16. Jade is at 15. I mean, Delilah is at 15. What's Ketia at? Ketia.
7.
Oh, okay.
I got 11.
I guess I'm at 7 too. If it gets sucked in.
Okay.
Oh.
Bill, is
Really
that
kinda
everybody?
climb everyone's
1,
lap.
2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need one more. Who am I missing? Oh, Andrew, are you going to participate any to make sure to protect your
No,
investment?
because I'm betting.
Okay. All right.
Otherwise, that would be. Oh fuck! What's the word?
Unscrupulous?
Something like that, but it's like an.
Conflict of interest?
Yeah, that works.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
There's a story that I'll tell during a break because it's not it's only relevant to like maybe Dan knows it. Anyway,
Yay!
Right. So, people who are getting involved, what are you doing?
do you need help, Miss Yagra?
Yes, Yagra.
Do you need help, Miss Yagra? He doesn't want to get involved unless she wants help because he imagines if he helps her and she doesn't want it, he's gonna get kicked in the nuts.
She's like, I wouldn't say no.
Okay, he's gonna like try and get into the scuffle and draw his rapier and stab a dude.
Okay.
Just go straight for it. Just bam!
I will point out, Liam, as
That don't
you
exist.
are thinking about drawing your weapon, I'll say they are not weapons drawn. They're in the middle of a fist fight.
Oh, in which case I'll go.
Can I just put a hand like on your hand about to draw the sword again? No, not here. You have to learn, the levels.
Yes, because it is, it may not be attacking a lord that's still like, killing somebody in front of a bunch of witnesses.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Non-lethal
Maybe.
damage.
Okay. So
In which case, allow me to rephrase that. Rookie goes in and tries to punch a dude in the dick.
okay.
The light touch, Rookie. The light touch.
Go for it.
Is Yagra considered a ally for the purposes of sneak attack?
Yes. But you will be punching,
God,
so it's 1 plus your strength.
I don't know if it'll matter.
And sneak
That-
attack, you won't have sneak attack because you're not using a finesse weapon.
Oh,
Ooh.
bugger, you're right.
Seeing the rules.
That's-
Nice.
That is a 10.
That won't hit. You just kind of like swing
Whiff.
and whiff. Yeah. You can use your dex or your strength for your unarmed, but it's still going to be your strength to hit, right? Or is it strength no matter
It-
what?
Under
It says on D&D Beyond I have +3, which would be my dex, not my strength.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. And you still missed. Cool.
Yep.
Okay. Anyone else charging in? You guys are gonna get the people who charge in are gonna get around before
Okay.
initiative goes in. But if you're staying back, you're just staying back.
I'm definitely staying back. I
I'll go-
will spend my surprise action pulling the mandolin.
Okay.
I'll
Ketty.
go ahead and jump in,
Right.
and yeah, just
Are you gonna
Go ahead and roll?
Yeah. Are you gonna swing at one of the backup dudes? Or are you gonna swing at the bald-headed man whom Yagra is now calling Prince?
I'm gonna go for one of the let's see, have the backup guys like actually like stood up and they're obviously
They're-
joining the fight, or are they
They're
still
currently swinging at her, trying to come
Okay.
up on her. So
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go after one of the
bandits.
one of the bandits. Yep.
One of the thugs. Excuse me.
Okay.
They're
Perfect.
using
Yep.
the bandit stat block.
So that is going to be 8 plus 6. So math is hard.
You hit.
Okay. So it looks like my unarmed strike does 5 damage.
Okay. Are you raging?
No, not yet.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, you like count like the one that like rookie like whiffed at kind of like turns to him as like, hey, what the fuck, mate? And then you just like come like barreling over just with this like overhanded just boom right in the top of his dome, and he like stumbles back all like, oh bloody hell. And that's Delilah. What are you doing?
Pop.
Pop. All right. Who are you going for? Yagra seems like she's got Krentz on the ropes. He's kind of like got bloody teeth and like
Yeah, so probably not him.
Okay.
So probably just. Is there another?
there's 4 others, 4 of his
Yeah,
friends.
I'm gonna go pop on one that hasn't been hit yet.
All right,
So 19 and a 20.
both hit.
Oh, that's shit damage. 4.
4 all up.
4 for one.
Okay,
Shit damage. 5 for the other.
so 9. Oh, yeah. And like you come in and like he's like turning to be all like, holy shit! At like this almost 8 foot tall Goliath woman. You come in with like low, and you get him in the stomach, and he kind of like doubles over a little bit, and then you come up again with like an uppercut, and he's like stumbling back, bloodied from that. So pop. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, Krentz is going to the bald man is going to take a swing at Yagra and miss horribly. Rookie, it is your go. We're in initiative now. BT dubs.
Okay.
I'ma do a swing.
All right.
That's barely him.
Yeah.
19.
Okay, 19 hits.
Pop. Can I then use my bonus action to then swing again?
Yes. You won't have your strength mod if you have one.
Natural 20. Come on.
Okay, so it's going to be...
Oh. For the record, that was 2 damage on the first one.
Okay.
So I guess it'll be 4 on the next.
3, 2 like 2
No.
times your strength mod,
Yeah.
and then 1 strength score.
Yeah, what's your strength mod, Liam?
+1.
Oh, so yes, you'll get... What was the damage on the first? Sorry.
The damage on the first was 2,
Okay, and then you did another...
which is a crit.
Yeah, a 4?
But I won't get proficiency on that one. I won't get proficiency on it anyway. I'm a dumb idiot. It's a fucking fist.
Yeah.
I think Should be 3, shouldn't it? Like, it's double of 1 damage to 2, and then
Yeah.
add 1 strength for 3.
Oh,
But
got
he
you.
doesn't
Yeah.
get he doesn't get to add his strength mod because it was his
Off-
offhand,
Offhand.
and
Oh,
he's not a monk.
of course. So 2 damage.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
do.
I did the exact same. Awesome.
Yeah, but it was still a crit, and so
But it was a good hit.
yeah, so like I think
Punch him in the
like
gut, and then I give him an uppercut to the jaw.
yeah, like Ketia kind of when she came down with like the hand on like the dome, like you kind of come in with like another uppercut and like get like his like snap his neck a little bit and make him like bite his tongue. And then Delilah, it's your go.
Pop, pop.
Pop pop, same guy.
Yeah. 21 and 17.
Both hit.
That's better. 6 damage for 1. And oh yeah, 7 damage.
Oh yeah, like that guy. Like you get describe how you knock this guy the fuck out.
So like I reach up behind him, grab the back of his neck, and just like bring his head like twice down against my knee, and just like roll him onto the floor and look for the next one.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so Yagra is gonna try and finish off Krentz, and she's gonna hit him real fucking hard with like 3 points of damage. She just kind of like comes down and like gets him right in his off button, and he kind of like goes all stiff and then like topples over like a cut tree, and just does like that unconscious like timber fall back into like the 2 of his friends that hadn't been hurt yet, and they kind of catch him and they're like, oh, shit, and like they're like holding him up, and Yagra's all like, yeah, motherfuckers, you want to come get some, and just screaming a challenge at them, and they 2 kind of like the one guy kind of picks up his unconscious friend from like Delilah's feet, kind of just all like and like the 3 of them drag Krentz and his buddy out, and Yagra kind of turns to you all and just says thanks, and kind of like looks over at Katia and kind of and Delilah, and just kind of gives you both like an appraising look, and just kind of grins at you both.
Wasn't even a fair fight. Buy me a drink.
Durnan is at the bar and kind of like looks at like the 3 like still conscious dudes that started the fight, and he's just like points one finger towards his door and tells them out.
As they're like doing their walk of shame, I will, from my table position, having swung out the mandolin, shout to 3 strings, "Back me up on this! Let me tell you the ballad of Chris and his 3 incredibly poor life. His 3 friends and his incredibly poor life choices." And they will like just sing about what exactly just happened as they like walked out the bar, just rubbing it in.
You got punched in the face by a 12-year-old kid.
Yes.
Yeah, and like Krentz kind of like looks back at you, Javier, and like gives you like, cause he's kind of coming to as like his friends like jostle him around. He kind of like looks back at you and just kind of gives you like the like rudest death glare.
The 7-foot oak just punched you in the lid.
And he kind of makes like a like rude gesture, like the fingers under the chin thing, just as they walk out. And so like things kind of settle down a little bit as you all. Someone was telling Yagra to buy her a drink, or yeah, she'll kind of like nod and say, "Yeah, that's all right. Durnan, their next round's on me." And she kind of like heads back to the corner, one of the corner booths where she was at, where there's a man in shadows kind of like sitting back, and who's also watching you guys, or who also watched these events unfold. And so you guys get your drinks, and
I'll blow Yagra a kiss.
she grins. Things kind of like settle down quickly. Sorry, is there anything you wanted to say?
No, I was just going to say I'd add it to the line of drinks that I have been working my way through.
Yeah. And
Vethia makes sure to get wine from the bar and rejoins the party and says, "There, wine was purchased," and drinks it.
Then you have made me a very happy man. And he just like beams up at her, and like he'll hold his drink up to cheers.
She cheers back.
Tonight is going to be a good night. This is a
I
good
don't like the way you said that.
Rookie. You are in for one.
and
Tonight I will be the blurry one to you.
Well, he gulps. I don't know if it was audible.
I
But
heard
you
it.
go.
I heard it.
And Vilmedes probably crawls out from under the table. I'm just glad that didn't escalate too severely.
I mean, God forbid you have to break sweat.
Well, I've sweat before, but I just
Didn't care for it.
He goes into the description of how to sweat. And
yes. No, it's like it's usually under instances of high temperature, stress, but I just physical violence isn't something I have much experience with.
Right.
I mean, they didn't beat you with candles when you were a boy?
No, you had to write lines. Where did you grow up that they're hitting you with candles?
No, the candle keep.
Yeah, yes.
They keep candles. They don't hit you with them.
Yeah. This
It's not
is
how candle hit.
that it
A
goes
lot
into the
of folks
etymology
like to do a
the
lot of
name.
things behind closed doors. It's always worth asking.
What does that mean?
Oh, rookie.
And Sniffles, you get your 10 gold from a very grumpy
Yeah.
individual. It's like, God damn it. There's like fucking shit. There's like five of Zen's guys. God damn it. And
Yeah, I mean, like, how do you plan for that?
they
I need to tell you how hard I fucking laughed when I saw your character's name was Sniffles Jigglesworth. It was a solid minute.
It's a perfect gnome name.
Absolutely.
Right. And things kind of quickly, like almost as quickly as it gets quiet again and like the ruckus of the tavern kind of goes back to normal. Shouts of alarm go up again, suddenly ringing out as a hulking creature climbs up out of the shaft in the middle of the tap room. A monster with warty green skin, a tangled nest of wiry black hair, a long carrot-shaped nose, and bloodshot eyes. As it bares its yellow teeth and howls, you can see half a dozen bat-like creatures are attached to its body, with 3 more circling around it like flies. Everyone in the tavern reacts with fear, except for the barkeep, who just shouts, "Troll!" and grabs, reaches back behind the bar for the greatsword that he's got stashed behind the bar. I need you all to roll initiative again, please.
Roll the dungeon.
Dinner and the show.
Oh, bugger.
This time
That's
you will
not
have
good.
to get involved.
Well, you're gonna have to
Actually,
sweat.
I have the perfect plan for this. If I rolled a 21.
Whoa.
Rookie rolled a 6, so he's only 3. 9,
What?
sorry.
I was going to say
9.
a rogue with negative.
I was
Negative
thinking
3,
I
in
was
fact.
thinking of- It's a +3, so
Yeah.
my brain was stomping over myself.
That is how math works. John is at a 15. That is Val.
I'm at 12.
Thank you. V. Liam 9. Andrew 21. Jade 22.
Yeah.
Veltia.
I've got a 15.
Oh, another 15. Awesome. The 2 V's at 15.
Yeah.
Who's got the bigger dex mod?
I'm at +2.
Did you do the same thing last time?
I think we did.
Yeah.
I've also got a +2 on Dex.
Okay, well then you guys can choose who gets to go first.
You go ahead and go first.
Dell, what would you like to do as this
Uh,
troll rises to its full height of 9 feet? Um, the
She'll turn to Velmedes and be like, "You actually might have to break a sweat this time," and then go up and pop, pop.
All right. There are, yeah.
Actually, this is this one of those kind of things that I think that I'm not gonna get in trouble if I pop my quarterstaff out and use that.
This is a monster. There's no laws protecting monsters from the Underdark that come up out of the middle of Durnan's tavern. But yeah, it looks like the sturges that are with the troll. Only 3 of them really seem to be posing a threat. As like the other 6 that are kind of or 4. There's only 4. Yeah, sorry, 4 that really pose a threat. As like the other 5 are kind of bloated and full of blood, as they've been kind of like feeding on like this troll as it made its climb up the tunnel, and they kind of are like these huge distended bloated bellies, and they kind of like start like trying to flap their wings, but they can't keep themselves up, and they just fall off the troll and fall back down into the tunnel. So you run up and pop. Are you popping these?
Actually, I'm gonna run up and I'm gonna bonus action Shillelagh, and then I'm gonna pop.
All right. So yeah, Dell's quarterstaff begins to glow. Are you popping the troll, or are you popping a sturge?
Yeah, let's get troll
All right, you hit them.
for 15.
That just hits.
And my weapon is a D8. And but I only did 16.
6.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's my go.
All right. Yeah, most of the tavern patrons and staffers. Oh, I should probably roll for Durnan.
Please do.
Yeah. Most of the tavern patrons and staffers flee and start taking cover, and the sturges kind of flap their wings and kind of turn towards you, Delilah. And Sniffles, it is your turn.
Yeah, I'm assuming I'd probably be halfway into counting my winnings when this happened. So, ah! And then I would get my hand crossbows and pew pew.
All right. Are you pew-pewing the troll or pew-pewing a sturge?
The troll.
All right.
Yeah, the troll. That's gonna be a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh, right. And then that is going to be 4 points of damage.
Okay.
And then do I get an offhand
Yep.
attack? All right, cool. That's going to be 10.
A what?
A 10.
A 10 misses.
All right.
All right. And so Durnan, hefting his great sword, springs over the bar and runs up to slice at the troll. He's going to hit once. Da, 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 da. What are his stats? Oh, he makes 4. Awesome.
4 attacks.
He's a fighter. Oh, he's gonna hit 3 times.
Jesus Christ.
This guy.
He kills the troll.
This guy used to be a lord of Waterdeep, so he's no joke. 2d6 plus 4. I'm rolling the wrong damage.
Should maybe stop joking around with him if he's like another 20 fighter.
But yeah, as he attacks, he calls out to focus on the fucking sturges and and yells at Bonnie to get some lamp oil, which again is a lot that you guys have heard. Like, yeah, he doesn't talk much, and he's like yelling out instructions like he's got nobody's business.
It's almost like he's done this before.
Yeah, you think? So yeah, he's yelling at you guys to hit the Sturges, and he just like slashes once, slashes twice, slashes 3 times into this troll, and he is let's see. Yeah. And yeah, slashing into the troll, and blah 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 blah, and yells for you guys to get the Sturges, and that's his go, as he just like slices off like huge chunks of the troll, like massive like swaths like through like its form, and it like you can kind of see like the wounds are already starting to like close over a little bit, like even as like he's slashing. And Vel or Vet, it is your turn.
Okay, so I'm listen to him and go after one of the Sturges. And with my great axe, so I go running in with that great axe, and oh, that was almost a crit fail, but it's not. It's a 13 plus 6, so 19.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Yeah, all right. For 9 points.
Yeah, you just run up and with your great sword and just slice one of them in twain. And oh man, I had things for this, and then I fucking forgot to activate it on my overlay. God damn it! All right, Velmedes, it is your turn.
All right. He's just looking at the Sturges flying around. No. Leave. And then the last leave kind of takes on this commanding aspect, and I need one of the Sturges to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, they're good at those. She
Are
says, looking at their -1 charisma or wisdom.
Oh.
That will be a 10.
No, that's a 14. They've got to leave, so they've got to spend their action moving away.
Oh,
I think that's
right.
command for you.
That's just
So-
command, so it'll last for 1 round.
Yep.
All right, and one of them will kind of is sitting there like flapping and looking at like Delilah and Veltia, like they're gonna like get ready to chow down, and one of them just kind of goes, starts like slowly flapping and sinking down into the open portal, and then the other 3 are going to attack Vet and Del, since they're up closest. I'm gonna say 2 on Vet because she was the most recent, and then 1 on Del. A 14 and a 6 to hit you, Vet.
I've got a AC of 14, so
A 1 hit, right? No. Yes.
If you
1 hit.
meet the armor, yes, it
Yeah.
hits.
So you are going like one of them latches onto you, like wraps itself or like sticks its like giant pointy proboscis into like your meaty shoulder, and then like the huge like bat wings kind of like come around you, like hugging you, and attaches itself and sucks out 5 points of birth of your blood.
Ow.
Oof.
And
Okay.
did you rage?
Um,
You didn't say,
Yeah,
but
You ran into a combat with a troll.
yeah, I assume you raged. So,
yeah, I think that pissed me off, and
Yeah.
yeah, now I'm raging.
yeah, so you'll reduce that too.
Okay.
And then the other one is going to be a 17 to hit you, Del.
God damn it! What is with you meaning armor class?
I'm sorry. As it does like the same thing, kind of like the long pointy like mosquito like beak just kind of like jabs into your chest, and then it like tries to face hug you with its wings for 6 points of piercing damage. and it's currently attached to you too. And there's still one just kind of like flapping around angrily around Vet, but it couldn't get at her. Javier, it is your turn.
Uh, so he is going to just swing the mandolin around like back onto his back, pull out the rapier, because I had something else planned, but it's fine. He is going to launch himself from like the edge of the table forward, and I'm going to aim to stab at the one that is attacking Dell, because she is a good friend and business partner.
Business,
Um,
business.
business. So I actually pre-rolled, and I got 22 to hit, and then rolled maximum damage for 11.
So describe how you surgically remove this scourge from your friend Dell.
So he sort of launches off the corner of the table with one foot, and dives and sort of Troy Brad Pitt spears this thing through, and then like flick, 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 and it's gone and removed. Is the proboscis is the proboscis still in her, or is it gone?
No,
Is
like
it?
yeah,
It's gone.
yeah, it's gone.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, it just like flick, flick, flick with this artful sword work, and it comes soaring out.
I love it.
I could. I was gonna go with something. Yeah, he's gonna say this because he just would, and he goes, "I couldn't bear to see them sucking on you, Delilah."
Excuse me?
Yep.
Rookie, please. Now's not the time.
Rookie didn't say that. I did.
It's better if it was Rookie.
You'll get your turn
you'll know
soon,
why
rookie.
You'll know why when it gets to his turn.
Right. So, that is anything else, Javier?
Am I currently in combat with any of them?
You are
Oh.
in combat with the one that attached your. You went to Dell. Dell popped at the troll, so the troll would be able to reach you.
Oh shit. Okay.
If you were to move away.
Okay. Fair enough. I figured he's kind of behind Dell, and Dell is near the troll, and he like attached the sturge, attack the sturge, which is on either flank of her. So he's kind of like realizes looking up into this troll.
I'll give you an option of being near two of the sturges near Vet, the ones that were attacking her, and Dell, or you can be near the troll and not near any of the sturges.
I'll be near the sturges.
Okay.
I figured he was kind of swatting at the sturges near
Yep.
further away from the troll.
Makes sense. I'll allow
Cool.
it because theater of the mind
Yay.
is fun.
Woo.
Dell, you did go up at the troll, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, his attention is focused on Durnan in front of him. He's gonna attack
Oh, thank
Durnan
God.
with one bite and two claws with a
thank God.
ooh, and a crit. Poor Durnan.
Oh, thank God.
Oh no.
Get him back and hit him with 4. He's like, I thought they were level 1!
It's like have like
Damn
this. Oh, at the start of its turn, it's gonna regen, heal up, and you see like some of like the huge sword cut slashes that Durnan has done to this thing kind of like seal up and like close over its exposed guts, and it's gonna like come down on Durnan. It's gonna try and snap at him with its jaws, and then swipe twice with its claws, and it's gonna miss the bite and miss the claws. Durnan's kind of like ducking out of the way, all like John Wick style, but he kind of gets like caught with like the second claw across the chest, and he takes 22 points of damage. And Durnan kind of like grunts in pain, but that's like the only reaction he gives to the troll. And he's and that is the trolls go. Rookie, you are up.
You described the Sturges as bat-like, correct?
Yes, sir. You
Well,
got.
guess what Rookie's afraid of? Rookie's
Oh.
afraid of, which is why he's been taking ages, because he saw the bats come up and he immediately covered his ears, closed his eyes, and like ducked down out of the way.
Uh-huh.
He's like, no, 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 no.
Yeah, that's like remnants, leftovers from like his time in the mines, like the bats. Whenever back in Blackmere, you were small. And...
Also,
Way to interrupt my narrative there.
What'd you expect me to do? Just leave it lying there?
Man,
I'm
now I
glad
know
you
how
did it.
now I know how Rob feels. But
I was
yeah.
also gonna say that it could be because his background is acolyte, so he's spent some time in the church before everything went shitty sideways bollocks. So there was probably bats in the belfry there.
Yeah.
So when he saw them when he was a really little kid, he was like, "No, bats are bad."
Yeah, and
But then he opens his eyes for a second and he sees ones on, oh god, names.
Veltia or Vetia.
The one,
Vetia.
the one that's still on the face, and he's
Vetia.
like,
Yes.
Yeah.
"Okay."
You can do it, Ricky.
Oh, he rolled like shit though.
You can do it. You can do it.
That is a 9.
You can't do it. You can't do
He
it.
rolled a 4.
No.
You
Now
can't-
it's time for steal, rookie. No, not like that.
Classic shit. What can I do as a bonus action as a rogue?
Not much of
According
anyone.
you-
According to
I'll
D&D,
say- you kind of like see, like you kind of like you try to. Did you slash? You ran up and slashed at the.
I tried to like stab him in the side because I've got a rapier. Because I didn't want to also potentially stab her in the face. So I tried to like get to the side and stab, but I guess he was probably still covering his eyes a little
She's
bit.
also really tall, and that thing is like up on her shoulder, so it would have been hard to get a thing.
Yeah.
To get.
Oh yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
a rapier up underneath it from that angle.
Utterly whiffed it.
Yeah, and like Bonnie is off in like one corner, like trying to find some lamp oil because it seems like for some reason she can't find any lamp oil, and Durnan is still kind of. He's already called for it once, but like he kind of let his eyes flick over towards where Bonnie's like struggling to find oil. Dell, it is your turn.
So how many surges are left right now? 2?
2. One is on Vetia, and the other is flying like in between
Flying
you and
away.
her. Flying between you and her. It's
Oh,
not
so
flying
there's-
away. Oh wait, yeah, the one that missed was the one that Phil Meades told to fly away. I didn't forget. I didn't forget that. Sorry. But yeah, one is out of reach.
So I'm gonna I'm trying to decide. The troll's right there, right? And he's still.
Troll's right there in front of you.
I'm gonna use produce flame
Ooh.
and do some
Ooh.
fire damage.
All right.
If I'm lucky.
It's in your melee because you went up and attacked it. You will have disadvantage on the roll to throw the flame at it.
Which disadvantage? That's an 18.
That still hits.
Yeah, max damage 8.
Nice. And yeah, Delilah, you produce flame in your hand, and the troll goes up, and like the wounds that hadn't healed up already kind of like cauterize and like immediately scab over and scar as like the thing like screams in like this horrible pain. And Durnan like looks at you and gives you like a nod and is like, "That's it." And Sniffles, it is your go. Unless you want to do something on your bonus action, Del.
Bonus action double birds.
Sure.
Nice. Double birds. Nice. With my movement, is the bar behind me still?
Mhm.
Yeah, can I like hop behind that?
Yeah, if you want.
Just to give myself like a little bit of cover. I don't know if I can get any cover. Is there anything like, I don't know, a giant chandelier above the troll?
No, because it's in the center of the yawning portal, and it's a 3-story high tavern, and the second and third story are open balconies.
Darn, I'm gonna shoot the things that the dude was yelling us to shoot at then, and not
Okay.
the troll.
All right. There's one that's
Okay.
currently in view because the other one kind of like flew down beneath the waist high wall, so you can get
Oh
one.
no,
Mm-hmm.
my first
But it's
attack
okay.
was an 8,
Well, that just misses.
Oh no.
and then
Oh.
Get a
I
nat.
don't do anything.
If you get a nat one, I'm gonna roll to see which of your friends hit.
Oh my god.
No, it's another 3.
Okay.
Hey, I haven't
Oh,
taken any drugs yet.
Woodley!
Right. So Durnan is gonna take his 4 attacks. And is only gonna hit on 2 of them. Yeah, and he, thanks to Delilah's fire, he like cuts once across like the thing's chest, and you can see like its rib cage kind of exposed and gnarled looking, and as it kind of like splits, and kind of. And my wonderful descriptions there, and then and then he like takes his great sword and like shoves it through the like gap in between like the ribs, and like gets the troll like right in the heart, and it kind of goes and like collapses and falls over, and he like Durnan kind of like stands over the troll and is just like, right, more fire, and is like looking around for like a lantern or something else to like throw on the troll as it's still unconscious before him. Velmedes, it is, and Vetia, it is your turn. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So
You have a surge connected to you,
okay.
and another. You can kind of see one that looks like it's a that Velmedes ordered to fly away. Start to look like it's shaking off whatever effect he put on it, and it's getting ready to come back up.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna grab the one that's kind of biting in my shoulder and just like grab it and like throw it in the air and try and hit it with my battle axe all crazy like because I'm
Definitely.
really pissed off at it right now.
I mean,
So
who wouldn't be?
right. So that would be a 17.
That hits.
Okay. So oh. Let's see, that's +2, so 3.
Ah, so gross.
Oh, wait.
Are you sure
Math
with
is
your
wrong.
raging?
No, it's more than that. It's
If it's more, if it's
2, so it's
more than
7.
yeah, oh yeah. So like you guys see like
Better
this,
math.
this much better math. See this tall Goliath, like massive mountain of a woman, like grab like the scourge out of her shoulder, like just grabbing it by like the back of its skull, pulls it out, and then like crushes its head in like her one hand. Velmedes, what are you doing?
So you said that Sturge that I commanded to leave is coming back now?
Yes, and you also have
So
Durnan screaming for, or not screaming, but like, called for more fire on the troll.
can't thaumaturgy. So is there a candle, and is any of that stuff high enough proof to light on fire that's on the table?
Yeah, if you want it, like, Bonnie the barmaid was looking for a not lantern to like throw against the thing, but there are plenty of lanterns all over on most of these tables that you could douse the troll with.
What about the liquor on there? Is any of that flammable?
The liquor of all liquor is flammable.
Okay.
Some more than
All
others.
with the,
Like the stuff that you were
okay.
watering down seems like it would be from your like, maybe not like refined taste, but it was basically straight grain alcohol
Okay, yeah,
masquerading as wine.
Velmides grabs that and just Molotov cocktails, and then hides behind his shield.
Right. And so like the Velmides, you throw the lantern down on the troll, and like the corpse goes up and kind of immediately, it looked dead before, but now you're certain it's dead from like the way it like immediately kind of like shrivels up on itself, like kind of like a hollowed out husk, like deflating a little bit. And yeah, the troll is dead. The last sturge is going to fly up and attack Veltia again. And sorry, it's going to hit for 4 points piercing damage, reduced to 2 because you're raging.
Okay, so 2 points damage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Javier, it is your turn.
I'm just for flavor. Javier is just going to rehook on the lantern he was about to throw down on the troll using his mage hand, saying that the mage has done something useful. The one there's one down in the hole. Can't attack. There's one
No,
harassing
no.
Bethia.
The one that just attacked Bethia is Honor, is the last one. It's the last
That's the last one. Okay. Sorry, darling. I hope you oblige. Sorry. Sorry, darling. I hope you oblige. And he's going to like leap, then maybe jump off like a knee or something, and push himself up off your shoulder, and then he is going to go to hit this thing as hard as he can. I didn't pre-roll this one because I was thinking I was going to burn the troll. Burn it.
Burning so hard.
13. Does that hit?
Oh no, it does not. I'm afraid. So you
It
like.
doesn't hit Sturge.
So you
I
clamber.
can't like very lately bardic inspire myself for
No,
being
you can't.
wonderful.
You can't. You
No.
can't inspire yourself. I'm afraid.
No.
If I could
Okay.
inspire myself, Dan, Muse would have done it by now.
I think Muse can, can't you? At like higher levels, you can
I don't think
inspire
so.
yourself.
You,
Yeah,
you
that's
can
right.
at higher levels, but it's like level 18 or something like that. Level 16 or something like that.
It is a
Oh,
floorboard thing too.
can I do like a bonus action to like have another attack at it,
You
but
can.
without my modifier?
Yeah, you can try to offhand it without your modifier if you would like.
Okay,
You jump up and you're like, sorry, darling, hope you oblige, blah blah blah. Try to stab and like make it like look like it was on purpose, and just toss your
Sure.
rapier into the other hand.
Yes, absolutely. I toss it up, catch it in the other hand. That is a 16.
That will hit.
Yay! So without modifier, that is 5. 5 mighty damage.
Describe how you killed it.
Yes! Yeah! So he does that, and he misses the attack he entirely intended to do, and then plays it off as just sort of alley-ooping it, catching it with the other hand, and he kind of like launches off her, swipes through the bat-like creature in twain, and it will fall down the hole, and he'll land
Right.
and flourish, kind of like a bow.
Yes, vigorous applause.
I'm guessing that was rookie clapping. Just
It would have been, but Rookie's still a little bit terrified of bats.
okay. Okay.
So yeah, like there's a smattering of applause. There's a couple of exchanging of coins. It's like some people who were too drunk to really get involved, but not too drunk to place bets on whether or not it was going to be Durnan that killed it. It kind of takes place, and Durnan kind of like does like one little sweep with his sword, and like the troll blood flicks off, and he just like turns to you all and kind of like nods and says matter of factly, "You fought well." And then like looks up at the bar and starts glaring and sniffles and just says, "Get the fuck out from behind my bar." And heads back over with his great sword in hand.
We're drinking for free tonight, right?
Mm.
And then Delilah will collapse in the
Oh,
bar or in the booth.
oh, I would help you if you unless you can make the if you make it under your own steam, that's fine. But also
Yeah.
Javier would help
She's
you.
just gonna be like, oh god.
Do you look like real bad?
Out of 4 out of 10.
Yeah, as like you're kind of she's helping herself slash you're helping her, that priestess of Joaquin kind of comes over and lays a hand on Delilah's shoulder and kind of say, blessings be upon you, and she's gonna heal you for 8.
Oh, me too, me too.
Do you say that?
Yes.
All right. She'll turn and look up and then continue to look up and crane her neck a little bit, and she kind of like mutters something in Chilton under her breath, and will heal you for 6.
I'm
Javier,
assuming Rookie doesn't speak that language because he's from Blackmere.
Chilton,
No.
no.
He would speak Black Meat. No, he doesn't speak Black Meat. He does speak Celestial for some reason. I'm not. Oh, it's never mind. Carry on. Tell it myself.
What the
Javier is just gonna like shoot daggers at the shelter priestess. Like, sister, come on. Like some of us have miracles of our own here. He was going to heal them because I have healing spells. She just came and stole his thunder. He does not look happy at her.
I'll say, this is why I'm not here for the ale. This is why I'm here. And she'll kind of like goes wandering back towards her corner. You will remember that she didn't offer to heal Yagra or the dudes that started the bar fight earlier, but
Mhm.
yeah, she's like non-pulsed by your ardor. I guess we'll say.
Yes, go back to your corner, sister. Blessings be upon you. And then it'll like, because he might actually be able to understand some Chilton as he comes from the neighboring country, and he's just kind of
Grumble, 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 grumble.
Blessings
yes,
be upon
much
you.
grumble, much grumble.
How
Rookie says it very genuinely.
how is everyone feeling for time?
I could do with a quick break.
Okay.
Yeah, I can go with a break, but other than that, I'm good.
Okay. Well, we'll take a quick break there as you guys head back to nurse your newly healed wounds, both to your body and to your ego in
Yeah.
Javier's case. And we'll take like a 5-10 and be back.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Yay!
I need to refill my coffee.
coming back.
Hello.
Hello.
So I'm trying to figure out how to change like my, I guess, profile picture so that I could have like my character's picture up, like a lot of you guys are doing. How did you do that?
This is a program called XSplit that we're using, and it just takes the place
Ah.
of it takes the place of our camera.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So,
Completely free stuff
Oh.
to get.
Okay.
And then it's pretty simple. You just like click on the. Basically, you have a couple of different presentations given on the free one, and you just
Okay.
click add source, and then it has like the picture.
Uh-huh.
You just choose image from the different options, and you can. So I like make a little character folder, and I'll put the person art and the background art and stuff in that character folder along with the sheet, and then you can just click on those and pull them in, and then resize them, and then you get add text, and that's where the text comes from.
Oh. And then what was it called again?
XSplit.
XSplit. Okay.
Yes. I have broadcaster, I think, because I think there's a few different versions, but I think should be good. It's just something we've done for years now, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Make little presentations for our little characters to. I don't always get a chance to update mine on the fly because I'm often like taking notes, although I'm not taking so many notes for this session. But
Gotcha.
it just helps the DM to see the the important stats and stuff at a glance.
Gotcha.
And it can help the healer know exactly how hurt you are at that moment.
Yeah.
Also, we all just totally love looking for fan art like all of the time
Oh yeah.
of characters and stuff. And then debating over which ones we should use. So
Gotcha.
I have a folder full of stuff that more than I could ever use for characters.
oh yep.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
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 I am good.
Global
My
warming
highlight of the
gets
fight
more
was you
info.
pretending to be a sturge and like moving it around on the screen.
That was. Can we see that again, please? Yeah.
There we go.
This guy's gonna have a bad day. This guy right here, and this one right
Yeah.
here. Teabagged by a sturge.
Sturge bagged.
Boink, boink.
I'm gonna be right back.
I don't know where to go.
Durnan has a sword of sharpness.
Does he?
Mm-hmm.
Steal it. Come on, Rogue. Where you at?
You can try.
Come on, Rogue. Where you at? Do Rogue shit. Rogue shit.
And that's why we needed a new party after the first session.
Because the monks running around saying, do Rogue shit. How many rogues do we have?
2.
It could be only one.
Well, I, for one, am proud that Andrew's trying a new class out.
No, don't know. I'm very happy.
Oh, he forgot to roll sneak attack.
He didn't get it, did he?
Whenever he shot the troll.
That's true.
And the sturge. Well, he didn't get the second sturge, no. But he shot the troll. He would have
Gotten. I don't remember what it is when that's level 1.
D6.
It's been like, oh, I mean, like how many d6s?
Just one.
One.
It's been so long since I was a level 1 rouge.
Yeah, 1d6 per odd level.
Now I'm like a level like I don't know 15 rouge,
Mm-hmm.
and like
I think you're up to
I don't know
6, 7,
8.
8. Whoa.
Yeah, I just hit 8.
Just hit an 8-year-old, or
Yes, I'm just turned 8 years old.
yeah.
It's a very big birthday for me. I was very proud. I got a race car bed, and
Oh yeah.
I had a Barbie cake, and it was so cool. I got a bounce house. There was a bounce house.
Almost double figures now.
I
Then you're
know.
going to be, an adult.
Then
Almost.
when I am
Grown up.
13, I'm going to be grown. And then
All
you
grown
can
up.
tell me
Christ.
what I can do. Because I'm grown. I don't get that shouted at me on a daily basis.
I'm an adult.
No, you're not.
Fuck off.
Oh,
I can't say that.
I
rude.
can.
You can.
Oh,
And I appreciate you saying it for me.
I mean, I wouldn't because that's really bad. But
Everybody.
can say- this is a safe space where I can say fuck kids.
No?
So, Twitch loves us.
borderline.
He's just kidding. What
Of
is
course
that?
I'm kidding.
What is that horrible sound? Something's dying in the background.
Ginger is playing with her toy. It's the sound of Liam's childhood dying.
I didn't have a childhood to die.
Oof.
Big.
Is everybody back? John, Andrew,
Yep.
Amber, I heard you chuckling.
Yes, I am here.
Andrew.
Damn it, the chuckles gave me away.
Andrew, you're probably muted.
Or he went
Or
for
down.
pizza.
For pizza.
Not pizza.
One of my favorite in jokes. That's one of my favorite in jokes.
He's never living it down.
He's not. You don't understand. It was an awesome game. It was the first game I ever played with Rob.
It couldn't have been that awesome because I wasn't in it.
Rob played
maybe it
Rob
wasn't that awesome
3.
because
That was like the most Rob thing you've ever said, I think.
It couldn't have been that awesome because I wasn't in it.
Yeah.
That's a very Rob thing.
And then Jade said the meanest thing she's ever said to me.
It was that awesome because you weren't in it. I'm doubling down.
I mean,
baby.
it did happen because I couldn't make a
Dragon
Horde of
Ball.
the Dragon Queen game.
Or some shit like that, yeah. And you ran it for that reason. It was awesome.
Well,
I don't know. No one even. I will come back with that same retort.
I will strive to miss more so you can experience games like that more often.
What she really means is play Civ 5 or Civ 6 more.
No, I'll play that on
Civ
my
5.
Switch. But let's see, the one Friday night game you missed was the game when we put someone's head on a pike.
We put someone's head in lava, as I recall.
We definitely put someone's head on a pike.
I may also be thinking of a different game.
Yeah.
Was that the one where Rob played a guy who could only lie, or he was telling the truth, but it always sounded like he was being sarcastic?
Something like that. I can't exactly remember what it was, but it was like we had to separate his head from his body, so like we threw his body out in the ocean or some noise like that.
Yeah.
And threw his head on a
But
pike.
it would regenerate, so he put his head in lava, so that when it regenerated, it would just immediately burn.
Or did we put the body in lava and the head on a pike? Yeah, that sounds like something we did.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't imagine you guys doing something like that, considering the worst thing I've ever seen you guys do in a game is shove dynamite in someone's body cavities.
Is that really worse than
I didn't do that.
Yes,
I
you
don't think.
did.
Did I?
Yeah,
you
we did.
I think that might have mostly been me.
No, that
James.
definitely
James. That
Blitzen definitely put things in people's body cavities, but I don't remember it being dynamite.
you might have had. It was the night you
I
had to
mean-
leave early, and I then critted as
Oh.
Blitzen twice.
Yeah, we
the
definitely
the
did
captain
that.
of the captain of the Black Mirror Guard. They he came back to came back to life again because he's a zealot barbarian or whatever. So they made sure he couldn't come back by blowing him to smithereens.
I mean,
Well, see,
how
that's
else,
reasonable though.
how else were we gonna do it?
Exactly.
I mean, you could have burned his body.
I mean, we did burn his body.
We did. We
Yeah,
burned
but-
him inside with massive nitrous explosions.
Yeah, I don't think that's anywhere near dramatic enough.
To be fair, you guys did also collapse, the tunnel leading down into the prison. And if you hadn't done that, all of those guys that you locked up in the cages would have been in the final fight with the Duchess. So good call all around.
I mean, so is that really worse than when I hamstrung that one guy?
I mean,
And-
maybe not. It's not as bad as
And I left him for the wolves or whatever the fuck.
the druids
Yeah.
to eat. Or wait, no, those were actual wolves. Anyways, I think everybody's back now. Yeah.
Andrew's back from pizza, yeah.
Yeah.
He posted.
Andrew, did you get back from pizza?
Too busy eating pizza.
It's smoked salmon with rondelay cheese and some steamed veggies with some pasta with some Parmesan cheese and some salt and pepper.
That sounds like an awesome pizza.
Yeah,
My
fancy
God.
ass pizza there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 2:00 in the morning, and now I want to make shit, like fucking binging with Babish.
Mhm.
This
Oh,
is-
yes,
this
Lou.
This is the power that Andrew possesses. He talks about food and hang on, he makes everybody hungry. I think it's like residual munchies. Contact
Yep.
munchies.
The contact munchies.
Right. So everyone's back. So we'll get back into it. Probably won't go for too much longer, but you guys are sitting around and enjoying your drinks and nursing your wounds. When it's not too long after the fight, whenever a figure approaches, kind of pushing against the tide of patrons who are kind of gathering around you guys to kind of compliment you, and he pushes through, and it's a very it's a human male approaches you, and he pushes his way through, and he's very out flamboyant and with a curly mustache and a giant floppy hat and this really nice filigree scarf around his neck, and he pushes his way through, and he's all you be adventurers, am I right? I could use your help. Let's find may I sit at your table and maybe talk? And Javier would recognize this man as Volothamp Gadarm, known to most Waterdavians as a braggart and notorious embellisher of facts and author of Volo's Guide to Monsters. And because he's so a well-known author and patron of the arts.
Also owner of this bar.
No, that would be Durden.
No, you said Volo was the owner and Durden was the proprietor. Never mind. Okay.
Did I?
I have that written down in my notes as their connections.
Perhaps I did that. I'll trust your notes.
All right.
I feel they were from that thing. The pictures that you sent us a while ago.
Oh, okay.
Might have been on there. I was just saying because that holds quite a lot of sway with
Yeah.
our current party.
But
There's other accolades.
he strokes his mustache once, adjusts his hat, and tightens his scarf, and he says, Volothem Gedarn, chronicle wizard and celebrity at your service. And he does like a little bow. I trust you've noted the violence in our fair city these past 10 days. He says, stroking one finger across an eyebrow. I haven't seen so much blood since my last visit to Baldur's Gate. But now I fear I have misplaced a friend amid this odious malevolence, and I need your help.
I'm afraid I'm going to need at least one more round of drinks before I can listen to this.
Oh, yes, of course. And he signals to Bonnie, and Bonnie gets another round.
My, Volo. This is quite a pleasure.
Oh, is that you, Javier? I didn't quite recognize you. I didn't expect you to be the sort to fight a troll.
Well, one for excitement of many different kinds. Troll fighting is just a new hobby of mine.
One I hope you don't care to repeat, but if you're getting into adventuring, perhaps you could help me find my friend, Floon Blagmar. He's got more beauty than brains, bless his soul. But I'm worried he took a bad way home a couple of days ago and was kidnapped or worse. Who knows in Waterdeep these days? But if you all would agree to track him down with due haste, and I'm sure that you guys could manage it, what with how you quickly dispatched that troll with Durnan, I could offer you 10 dragons apiece now, and I can give you each 10 times as much when you find Floon. May I prevail upon you in my hour of need?
And for our reference, the dragon is worth
1 gold piece.
It's just what the gold pieces are emblazoned with.
Just making
gold.
sure.
Yeah. He's like, please, would you help me? I have the 10 gold right up front.
I'll help you.
Oh, thank you, my dear boy. What is your name? And he like turns to Rookie.
He stands up, brushes down his tunic, and extends his hand. Benedict Jewel. Everyone calls me Rookie.
Charmed.
Any friend of yours, Volo, is a friend of mine.
He continues to stand with his hand extended.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, dear boy. And he like wipes his hand across his scarf and shakes yours.
He smiles and sits.
And then he will twirl his mustache and stroke his eyebrow once and turn to the rest of you.
Yeah, sure. Why the hell not? I mean,
I'd be willing to help. I just is Volo's Guide to Monster canon?
Oh, yes.
Diegetic?
Yes.
No. I mean, this is John asking, not Velman. Not Velman.
Oh, yes. As a resident of Candlekeep, you've come across many of Volo's tomes. His Guide to Monsters and his Guide to the Wild Continent of Chult is also a vast bestseller. And you know that he's currently working on a sequel to Guide to Monsters, a Guide to Spirits and Spectres.
She has to keep the voice going, otherwise she's gonna lose it.
Yes, that could be the predicament I am currently in.
Next time, it's going to be a completely different accent. So I well for that I'd certainly be willing to help. Yes, sure.
Well, I did say I needed coin, so I'm in.
Oh, how fortuitous. It's not like serendipity that we've met.
yeah, sure. Why not?
Sniffles, do you agree?
I mean,
Okay.
That's a lot of spice.
Oh, excellent. And he pulls out a patch that, or a pouch, and hands each of you 10 gold coins. And if somebody would like to make me a perception check.
Yeah. Oh, am I good at that? No.
I got 19.
Oh, I got was a 17.
Oh. Dirty 20.
Ooh.
Mm.
Gasp.
What am I gasping at?
Oh, apparently I'm over my carrying capacity. I don't know how. I somehow am carrying 20,080 pounds. I added like 10 gold. What happened? Hold on. Let me take that off and see what happens. No? Okay. Sorry, carry on, ignore me. I'm gonna work out what the fuck's going on here.
Okay, I'm sorry. Those of you who got above a 15, he's promised you another 100 gold each, but his coin purse seems a bit light for that kind of promise. But
Do you know where I might find some seedy fellows around here?
you asked this of Volo.
Yeah, why not?
He like does a hand over his chest, like, "My good sir, I am a fine, upstanding citizen. I wouldn't, but I wouldn't."
Well, you should know where you wouldn't want to go then, right?
Well, then perhaps like I actually have an Enchiridion about Waterdeep. If I could interest you, I could provide you with a copy.
Like a map?
It does contain the map, yes, and
It's a book.
a history of sorts of the city of Waterdeep for curious persons as yourself.
How much?
Well, it's just a simple book, just 2 gold.
No, I'll take my chances, thanks.
Well, suit yourself, good friend. But I do thank you all for agreeing to help me find my good friend Floon. He's a handsome human man in his early 30s with wavy red blonde hair. He was dressed quite fine, and we were in the dock district, and that might have been like a mistake for people such as ourselves. But with the Zentarum and Zenithos Guild and the wars, we probably shouldn't have been traveling alone. But we were at the Skewer Dragon drinking, and this is a bawdy place in the Dark World. We were feeling a bit adventurous, you see, and well, that's the last I saw. But it's been quite a few days, and I'm rather worried about him.
You were sorry, the Skewer Dragon. What district was that?
The
Sorry?
Dark Ward, sir.
Dark Ward. Okay. The Dark Ward. The Skewer Dragon.
Yes.
You like to drink in dangerous places.
Well, you see, I was suffering from a bit of writer's block as I'm working on my newest tome of, Volo's Guide to Spirits and Spectres. I might have mentioned it before, but I was suffering from writer's block, and, well, we met at the Skewer Dragon because I was looking for something to shake things up a bit. You know how it gets, I'm sure. But we...
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
no, you go.
Yeah, we drank and gambled for a bit, and I left him, and he stayed behind.
Absolutely. The drink often brings out the best in people. Sounds like your friend maybe a bit of a little more than he could chew.
I hope that nothing's happened to him. He was only there because I invited him out to the Skewer Dragon.
Well, let us hope he does not end up in your book then.
Oh my. You're insinuating that my friend might become a spirit or a specter of some sort. Oh,
I'm sure he's fine.
it would make an interesting story for the forward, though, when you see him like looking off into the distance.
I mean, unless you don't want him to be fine.
No, I do. He's a very, very good friend of mine. I would simply hate it if something were to happen to him.
Absolutely. I'm sure we can see where he is.
Right, it's a small little tavern on Net Street and Fillet Lane. It's not far, but yeah, like I said, it's been several days and I haven't heard from him. It's quite unlike his character. But you find him and return him here to me, and I will be most grateful, most very, very grateful.
Here at the Yawning Portal? You will be here?
Yes, I'll be working on my book, Volo's Guide to Spirit and Spectres.
Excellent. Know if you need company on your next book tour. You know who makes good company.
Oh, yes, indeed. I would love to have you accompany me on my Tashluta arm of the book tour. That would be fantastic.
I do so wish to see home. I will show you the best places to drink.
Well, if anyone would know where the best drinks are, it would be someone from the fine vineyards, such that the Tashluta family has to offer. Am I right?
Absolutely. And he's going to swill. He's worked his way through several of the drinks, I guess, this evening, and he's nearer the right hand side. He swills it in his hand and then takes a sip.
Thank you ever so much.
What time is it, General? Is it too late to do this now, or?
No, you could. It's like early evening, so you guys definitely could set out if you wanted.
What?
It is rather late.
Apparently, Rookie's over carrying capacity, so he can't walk anywhere.
Okay, so I discovered the problem.
Is the problem that you have Jane as a DM?
Sorry?
Nothing.
I have two items in my inventory that I did not put there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
They are labeled as rock and rock.
Mm-hmm.
They both weigh 10,000 pounds each,
There's some big rocks, man.
and the description reads, "It's a fucking rock. What more do you want me to say?" Which of you motherfuckers rocks in my bag? I've got one equipped. I don't know when that happened. Sorry, carry on.
You've distracted us, but I will say, pranks for motherfucking days.
I'm glad that's recorded. I can delete these now.
Yep.
I'm just imagining you Rookie just offloading two fucking massive rocks,
Enormous
drop
fucking rocks.
onto the ground.
Okay, I'm back to 8 pounds now. We're all good.
So what do you think, Dale? Should we get a start? Every hour is important.
Yeah. Get done. Super quick. Get her 100 dragons. Come back and drink more.
Excellent. As committed as ever.
So Volo, that's his name, right?
Oh,
Mhm.
yes. Volothem Gadam.
So Volo and Floon, they're definitely in a relationship, right?
No,
I didn't miss that.
Well, they could be. They might just be very good friends.
Can I roll insight?
They're totally boning.
Yeah, if you'd like.
Oh,
Rookie, that's very forward of you to ask.
Oh, I rolled a 19. That's That's a 22 on my insight into discovering their relationship.
They are. Volo is not the kind of person who like is friends with people who can't like forward him in some way. Like it's all about connections and
Oh my.
advancing things. And you've never heard of this Floon, uh, whatever his fucking name is,
Blackmore.
Blackmore,
Blackmare.
Blackmere.
These names are mental, brother.
Yeah, you've never
Mhm.
heard of this Floon guy before. I mean, also you're kind of new here to town, but he's not a person of any kind of repute. So, maybe maybe you might have to see them together to know for sure,
Okay.
and or I might have to decide.
That is an awfully forward question to ask.
It depends on stuff, I guess.
It depends on stuff.
Many things often do.
Okay, you just be a really forward person.
I just
Mr. Glamour,
observing.
Anyway, shall we?
I'm ready to go if you are.
Sure.
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
Veth? Excellent. That is all I needed.
Candle boy, you coming?
Yes, ready.
Yes.
Of course. Yes.
There may not be any candles for you, Candlekeep.
That's
Right.
quite all right. I don't. It's just the name of the place.
And you may have to sweat.
I can come to terms with that. This is not the first time I've sweat. I will likely do it again.
Like the heat of a candle.
Yes.
I'm glad where I come from doesn't have a stupid name.
Right. Well, if you guys are heading out, the dock ward has long been considered one of the most dangerous districts in the city. Recently, the field ward has taken that title. But it's an area where most of Waterdeep's poorer residents reside, and might be inhabited by some of the like least literate people in the city, and also inhabited by the most habitual drinkers, and far too many of the inns charge by the hour. But the residents residents of the dock ward often work the hardest while living under the harshest conditions. Warehouses, poorhouses, tenements dominate much of the area. The streets are steep throughout, and few have space alongside for pedestrians. It's just like the pathways and buildings as they try to pack in as much as they can. As you travel there through the evening, the tall, densely packed tenements leave most of the neighborhood in shadow at the ground level, and most of the street lights have had their glasses smashed and their candles stolen, and the smells of the salt air and excrement linger as you pass through the rows of rundown buildings. As you turn a corner, you find yourselves on a street that has been cordoned off by the city watch. Lying on the cobblestones are half a dozen corpses, seemingly the victims of some terrible skirmish. Watch officers have disarmed and arrested 3 blood-drenched humans and are in the midst of questioning witnesses. One of the officers sees you all and just kind of waves you on and just says, "Go on, get on, nothing to see here."
Just real quick, does any of the bodies look like the redhead gentleman we're looking for?
Make me a quick perception check.
Ooh, yeah, this is going to be great. I promise you that. 16.
16. Let's see. No, it doesn't look like any of them are like redheaded humans. The kind of notice that one of them has one of the bodies has like is wearing like leather armor and has like an emblem of like a wheel, a spoked wheel with like 8 spokes sticking out of it with like a little circle at the end of each spoke.
Off the top of my head, do I know what that is?
Roll me a history check.
6.
Would I be able?
Yes. Anyone who's like spent some time in Waterdeep would be
I'm
able to roll.
proficient with history. I have a dirty 20.
A dirty 20.
Hmm.
Due to your kind of bar hopping and some of like the more, sometimes you get a little bit adventurous and you go to like some of the more seedier places. They're like, that symbol is a symbol of Xanathar's Guild, one of the crime lords of Waterdeep, and the humans who are that are kneeling and before the guards also have like a similar symbol that I'll let you go ahead and carry, that a similar looking symbol but different, that is just a curving snake with wings, which you recognize as a symbol of the Zentarum Guild, which is another crime family.
He's gonna just whisper to Dell, who I think he sees is interested. Just like, I think it is a turf war of some kind between the Xanathar's Guild and the Centaurium.
I don't think our quarry is here.
We better hope not. I don't think either of those factions are anyone to mess with.
Yeah, and I don't think we'll want to mess with the guards right now.
Probably not. They look a little on edge. This kind of criminal activity often makes them a little short on the prank wars, yes?
Yeah, we don't want to attract undue attention to ourselves.
Quite. And he kind of looks across the party like, tiny gnome, massive Goliath, weedy wizard, Rocky.
All right. Love you, Ricky. Shall we
Thanks,
keep
Mom.
moving?
I mean, Miss Delilah. He doesn't say that.
Oh,
Oh God.
Oh god,
no.
did he just have one of those days where
No, it just, that
call
was
your
me.
teacher mom?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Ah,
The
my heart.
all three.
Flashback to when I was 8 years old. Sorry, carry on.
Are you guys passing by then?
Yeah,
I-
please.
Do I
Think-
think I might be able to procure some wares in that district?
In this district, you might be able to, but in this particular instance, right now, where there are, let's see, how many city watchmen? A dozen
Yeah,
guards
okay,
of the
never
city
mind.
watch are
I was
gonna say,
standing
no.
around.
I'm gonna say if
I'm
I
all
notice
good.
him like he's looking around, be like, I don't think this is the place for you right
You're
now.
saying it,
friend."
Chief.
Yeah, the Zentarum agents kind of stare up at Velmedes. They're kind of giving you like this cold stare, and they're just like watching you, like not breaking eye contact.
He is very pointedly not making eye contact.
Yeah,
There were
like
a
one
little
of them.
bit of rubbernecking. I'm just going to be like waiting, just walking ever so slowly past this situation.
Stop chewing on my chair.
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't say I was
No,
doing that.
so tasty.
Okay.
Now there's teeth on my feet. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so you guys walk on by like the agents that are staring at Velmedes. One of them like whispers something to his fellows and gets like a backhand from one of the city watch for his troubles. You guys pass on by.
Can I see if I noticed the staring
Yeah, sure.
at? Because I mean, it's not directed at me, so like, I'm
Mm-mm.
just
And when people
very
aren't staring
attentive.
at you, there's a fucking problem.
Exactly.
Do you have
You are getting it, rookie.
disadvantage?
Um, I got a 16 straight roll. I
Yeah,
can make this
you
advantage
can
for you.
kind of notice that they're
Ooh.
staring at the reedy looking wizard and not like the tall tiefling. Sure.
Hmm. Or
Or the
even the Goliath.
Or even
You
the
would
Goliath.
accept
Yeah.
that they were looking at the Goliath. I mean, it's an obvious choice. It's the
Yeah.
wrong choice, but it is an obvious
It kind of
choice.
looks like it kind of to
Uh,
you. It just kind of looks like they're mean mugging, like the least threatening
hmm,
party member.
very well. He's gonna like try and like just record this kind of situation, these kind of people involved, and
Hmm.
whatever's going on.
So you guys,
I like the fact that they consider the wizard weaker than Rookie.
Yeah.
well, you just get overlooked, right?
Oh, fair point. No, yeah, you're right.
That's how you described him. Um,
Awesome.
so you guys
Possible.
continue on down to Filet Lane, and on the corner of Azastro Street, you immediately notice a peculiar looking shop as it is painted bright purple. It's standing out from all of like this drabness. It's a deep purple facade, and in the window hangs a stuffed beholder. Above the door hangs a sign whose elaborate letters spell out Old Zlob Shop. And it's XOBLOB. Exoblob. Zoloblob. Zablob? Zablob. We're gonna call it Zablob.
Zablob.
The old Zablob shop.
Before the Germans come.
Yes, the blob.
I'm imagining it with the shop with the double PE shop it like old shop.
It does now. I'm adding the
Yeah.
E. There we go.
Old the blob shop
Old Zablob shop.
with a stuffed beholder in it.
Bright purple. Only
A
painted
stuffed
building.
beholder,
A
like
s-
a teddy bear, but
yes.
a beholder.
Yes.
That's awesome.
There's kind of a fascination with the Underdark and all of the Underdark creatures here in Waterdeep because, like, one of their main tourist attractions is a pub with a fucking hole in it that leads to the Underdark.
Fair, valid.
and drow are not uncommon surface sight up here.
Beware the stuffed beholder in their snuggle ray.
Aw.
It might be a place you could procure some wares.
What?
It's a very odd looking shop in the middle of this district.
I'm gonna bust in.
Busted,
You see me
walk
take
in,
out a
walk in.
bag that's completely empty. I put my finger in it a little bit. It's completely empty again. Rub it through my gums. And I busted the shop.
Sure. A cloud of lavender scented purple smoke trails out of the shop's door as you peer inside. So these are good signs. Good signs. Every wall inside is painted purple, and every dusty knickknack on the shelves is dyed a deep violet. A hairless old gnome sits cross-legged on the counter and wearing plum-colored robes. His cheeks are decorated with 9 purple face-painted eyes. The gnome lowers a pipe and exhales a cloud of lavender smoke before raising a hand. Hail and well met! Come browse the shelves of the most curious curiosity shop in all of the world.
Why, thank you, brother. Do you have? I don't remember the name of it exactly, but I'll hand him over the bag. It was a powder. It you know, keeps you up, keeps you going. It's a nice powder. Starts with a Z, something like that.
Well, what do you mean? And he kind of like takes like the powder from you. He kind of frowns at the pouch because it's not purple. And
Hey, you can make it purple if you want after me, and I don't care.
but yeah, he kind of like looks at the pouch and kind of like looks at it and like sticks, opens it up, kind of like, well, this doesn't smell like my stuff. What is it?
I didn't get the name. It had like some sort of Z or something like that to start with. I can't remember.
Hmm. Well, I'm afraid this might be a little too, I don't know, surfacey for me. And he like hands it back to you. I should mention he's a snifferflippin, so he's a deep gnome. So he's got like dark gray skin and it's all like wizened and like curled up looking. Um, but he's like, I do have like all of these fine wares. You could feel free to peruse my shop. And he kind of like waves a hand and kind of like gives you like another like squinty eyed look. Roll me a D100.
Aw.
Sorry.
All right, let's see here. A 39.
I was like, well, I might not have any of this stuff, but I do have some spores from a mushroom in the Underdark you might be interested in.
Okay,
Man.
keep talking.
It, kind of makes you see things that happened to people that weren't you, but the mushroom had contact with. It's not quite hallucinogenic in the strictest of sense. He says, like, kind of in a conspiratorial tone.
You know what? I'll take a sample. Let me browse your wares to see if I can find something that I'm looking for. How much for a little sample of that, though?
For you, brother, it'll be 2 gold.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna hold on to my 2 gold, and you hold on to that, and I'm gonna browse your wares, see if I can't find what I'm looking for
All right.
first.
Is anyone else going inside?
Rookie
Vethia
will have a
sticks.
gander.
What?
Vethia sticks her head in and says, "Do you have anything that might interest a barbarian?"
I have many fine wares. This is the most curious of curiosity shop in all of Waterdeep. Please, please, come in, come in.
Okay, Vethia goes, walks in.
Rookie also goes in to satisfy his curiosity.
I
Yep, go ahead.
I would absolutely be in there. I'm mostly kind of just listening to what's going on, but he's just kind of batting at the beholder, just making it swing in the window.
Oh, that's actually a trinket from in honor of the old owner. It was actually uh, you know, it was called Zalob Zablob shop then, and well, no relation to the eye tyrant in the window there, but I tried naming the shop after myself, but everyone kept calling it Old Zablob shop, so I just changed my name to Zablob, and so now I'm Zablob too, and that was Zablob, and this is Zablob shop, and it always will be the most curious curiosity shop in all of the world.
That sounds like a deeply existential problem.
I don't know what you mean, but please come in. I'm sure I have something that might interest you, bookman. And he like gets down off of the counter and like toddles over to one of the shelves and he pulls out a gold monocle that has no lens and holds it up for you.
Now, is it gold or is it purple?
It is a gold. It's gold. It's actually gold. It's one of the few things that aren't gold, but it has no glass lens in it. That could be yours for 1 gold.
Bill just pulls out a pair of spectacles that have glasses in them.
Oh well, you could put one of those in this, and then you don't have use half as good. You don't need both eyes.
It honestly sounds like I'm losing out either way.
That sounded ominous. That sounded ominous to me.
And he kind of like frowns at you, and he toddles over to Vetia, and he like comes up to you, and you're like, "You're a barbarian, huh? Oh, I got just the thing for you." And he like goes over to another shelf and he pulls out a bag that rattles rather enticingly. The bag is purple, crushed velvet. It's a Crown Royal bag, and he like holds it up to you to inspect. And you open it up, and it's a bag containing just a rough estimate about 47 humanoid teeth. One is brown and rotten.
But 2 gold for all the teeth in that bag.
What do they do?
Their teeth in a bag. I mean,
Oh.
I'll throw in the bag for you.
Right. Okay. I have one of those already. Thank you.
You have a bag full of teeth?
Yes, I've been collecting them for quite a while now.
Can I see?
Well, no.
Oh, you're just lying to old Zablob, aren't you? You don't really have a bag of teeth.
Are you calling me a liar?
He like looks up at you.
No.
Puts
Okay.
the bag back on the shelf. He's just got a bunch of like random curios and trinkets. In there, there's a old chess piece made out of like crystalline glass. It looks like it's a knight piece. There's an enormous looking scale up on one corner of a shelf that looks to be like a kind of goldish colored, and there's a glass orb filled with water on the counter that has a clockwork goldfish that's swimming around inside of it, and he's got also a brass orb etched with strange markings that are kind of curious looking, and near one of you catches a in the corner of your eye. You like startle because it's like the most hideous thing you've ever seen, but it's like a intricately carved cameo of like this hideous looking woman just smiling with like crooked teeth, and one of them's kind of like twisted around the wrong way.
That's gross.
Do you happen to know who this was inspired by? And he's kind of just waving his hands vaguely towards it.
That's my mother. But you can have it for 5 gold.
Oh,
That's quite gross now.
is it like a gnome-sized statue? Then
It's like a cameo like the little necklace pendant things that
Oh.
women put over like the top button of like their dress.
right. Okay. Oh,
So it's like
She's-
ivory and like it's like a dark stone beneath, and then like an intricately carved like miniature carving out of ivory.
she's very charming.
Thanks.
I love your distinct purple motif. It's very rich.
Well, it's that's exactly right. It's rich, and this is the greatest shop, greatest curio shop in ever. And so it had to be like the best color, and purple's rich, and so that's the color it had to be, right?
And an excellent color it is. He kind of just leans over to Dell. I think we may be getting a little distracted.
I think we're getting a lot distracted.
Distracted by what? Or distracted from what?
Don't you worry your pretty little head about that.
Kind of like
Finish your business with my friends so we can be on our way.
Can I roll a D100 and see what I find?
sure.
20. I think that's a 6. I'm going to say that no, that's a 9. 29.
You find a shard of obsidian that kind of catches your eye due to like you grew up in a mining town. It kind of catches your eye, and you pick the stone up, and it looks and feels like obsidian, but it's warm.
Ooh. Oh god. Is it purple?
Is what?
I said I'm jokingly saying, is it purple? I'm assuming it's black because the
Well,
city is black.
In the right light, it shines purple, especially in this place.
That's a good point. How much is this going for?
I'll give you that for 3 gold.
Can I perhaps haggle you down slightly?
If you
What
tell
a-
me what business it is that I'm distracting you from.
Rookie.
Yes, Miss Dell?
Don't. Pay for your item, or don't.
Well, I
He
mean,
then
you could be that way if you want, but old Zablob has got, his eyes constantly open.
But if you want to, you can roll a persuasion check too.
This is never gonna work. I'll give it a shot. Oh, it's not gonna work. That's a 7.
Yeah. He kind of gives Dell the stink eye, and
3 gold.
Oh, it's such a cool rock, though. Yeah, 3 gold. Fuck it.
I mean,
I
you
just-
seem to really like rocks, so if you want to carry him around.
You look fun.
if
Yeah,
anybody
say
would
3
like
gold.
to roll me an intelligence check.
Sure.
Yeah, I got that in spades.
That's going to
I
be an
was far
18.
too distracted.
An 18?
Yeah, an 18.
Okay. Now, granted, Velamides, you're not like the most street savvy of guys, being I'm assuming a cloistered scholar of some sort from
Yep.
Sandalkeep.
Oh, yeah.
I picked that right up.
The most
Yeah.
cloistered.
Most
Yes.
cloistered. But
He's up there.
Like, whenever you're doing like some light readings, you might have like picked up like a mystery or two. And the Skewer Dragon is on the end of the street, so this guy, if he was paying attention to the street, might have seen something the night that Floon went missing.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, that was the next question.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would ask, or I would probably point out to someone more charismatic than me that perhaps this man saw Floon leaving the Skewer Dragon.
I also bought the obsidian rock. I'm gonna throw it in my inventory.
Okay.
Here, let me help.
This one is not 2,000 pounds, I swear.
10,000
It was
pounds.
20,000 pounds.
They were 10,000 pounds each.
Yeah, that's 20,000 pounds. You put them all together. I
Yeah.
was so confused because I only noticed that after I added 10 gold. I'm like, what the fuck? What happened there? Sorry, carry on.
I would probably
That
point out
is-
to Xavier, seeing that he's better at handling people than Velmides is, that perhaps we should ask him if he saw anything that evening before we go to the Skewer Dragon and ask around there.
That is not a bad idea at all. I can take it from here if you wish.
Sure. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give him some guidance, so you can take that, and I'll see if I can help. Use the help
Oh.
action too for the next skill.
Sure.
So we'll see.
I,
Yeah.
so I will like slide an arm around your shoulder, and we'll both go
Okay.
talk to him if you are helping.
Yep. Visibly uncomfortable, but yes.
Sure.
And I've rolled enough to use my historian feat, so you get a +4 on that check too.
Nice.
Oh, hot damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's good at helping.
So, the blob, was it?
Yeah, that's my name.
Are you here a lot? Late hours, like today?
Like, all the time. I mean, you never know whenever someone gets a fancy for a curiosity. And the smoke
I-
kind of keeps me up. Not gonna lie, it gets me a little excited.
I can tell you plenty of people are up very late with their curiosities.
Hopefully the bottom here.
And he obviously gives a facial expression and he's feeling something very different.
Grim with a 16, how high is he for medicine?
He's slightly buzzed, but like he doesn't have like that sleepy kind of high. He's definitely
Okay.
like a little like excited. He's a gnome and he's
Wired.
excitable. He's wired. He probably doesn't
Okay.
sleep much.
So we were just wondering, past your purple curios and past the purple beholder and through the purple window, you can see upon the street, and you seem situated opposite the skewered dragon. At least it can just be seen. You haven't seen any interesting activity, perhaps, with a roughly 30-year-old human with the reddish blondish hair and the noble wares, and he kind of like beckons to his own fine clothes. The last couple of days or two.
Well, now that you mentioned it,
And he kind of like looks you over for any purple items that you might be wearing.
I've definitely got some purple on here somewhere.
he like looks at it pointedly, and well, I don't know.
You can roll me a persuasion check. Or charisma or persuasion, or you could offer him something purple.
So when you do the if you do the persuasion check, remember you got advantage +4 plus guidance. So
Jesus Christ. Okay.
help good.
Level 1.
He took the historian feat. Is that what you took?
Yeah.
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 It's dope. Is it only on history checks that they get that +4, or is it on
No,
any check?
it's any. I roll a DC 15 history check,
Mm-hmm.
and then they can add my proficiency bonus to their roll because I remember something
That might
pertinent
help.
from history
Okay.
to help.
Right. Well, with advantage, I rolled a crit +4 +3 for 27. So he is
roll a
so
D4
fucking
too.
charming, you can feel it coming off him at this point.
Yeah, so he's
Wait,
gonna
close
like
proximity.
clamber up something to get like a little bit higher so he can see you better.
he's gonna say, "Well, now that you mentioned it, I did see something a few days ago, and it was like right outside my window. I had like bird's eye view of it. There is this a guy that looked just like that, and he was with another guy who kind of looked like him, but he was just much nicer dressed, had red hair and really nice sword and stuff. But they were jumped by these 5 guys, and they didn't see they didn't see it coming, but they were like these rough looking dudes, and one of them, I didn't recognize any of the guys, but one of them had a tattoo of a snake with wings on the back of his head, or back of his neck.
The nicer looking guy, is that Volo and he just didn't say they got jumped, or is this someone else this guy is
No.
two-timing Volo with?
Volo does
Right.
not look anything like how he described
Sure.
Floon.
Snake on the back of the so snake on the back of the neck particularly. Did I see that on any of the guys who were kneeling before the cops?
No. You didn't notice any of that, but
Okay.
since you're thinking about tattoos on fellows, the guy that Krentz was fighting, or the guy Krentz that Yagro was fighting, had a tattoo that looked kind of similar to the ice.
Yes.
The
He had
Xenophar.
eyes all over his head.
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up. Yes. So interesting.
So yeah, but since you recognize like the winged snake as it sounds like they got jumped by a bunch of Zentarum.
Yes. I mean, you would think they would have no gang affiliations, but perhaps just due to their wealth, they were a target. It's interesting he was with someone who looked very similar to him.
I don't know. I mean, they, from far away, yeah, but they were both like, all you humans look kind of the same. Wait, he looks at.
Excuse me.
All of them humans look the same.
Okay, that is more acceptable.
I mean,
enamored with his
no
obsidian
one's gonna
guy.
forget what you look like. Am I right? with the horns.
That is how I am to please. Never forget this face. And he kind of like looks towards Vel and then just kind of gives a little like like pucker.
Yeah. That's when he leaves. That's when the helping's over.
Oh, but you've been so helpful. You were
No, no,
my lucky
I
charm.
really
Where are you
appreciate.
going?
I do, but that and I am spoken for.
Is anyone
Oh, are you?
else interested in any of the curiosities in the shop?
Uh,
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. No, not an extra bag of teeth. Chess piece, scale, orb with water, gold monocle with the lids. So, or you can
No, but
roll
I'm
a
definitely
D.
going to recommend this shop to people. It's quite
Or you can
awesome.
roll a D100 and see what else you find, if you're interested.
I rolled a 20.
Uh, you find as you're like looking for uh, drugs and other consumable substance, you find a glass jar containing a weird bit of flesh that's floating in a pickling fluid.
What the fuck?
That's what you say what the fuck about.
This isn't the stuff that I normally get, right? Please tell me it's not the stuff that I normally get.
No, it's not the stuff you normally get.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Can you help me find some of that? Cause like I'm dying, man.
Seriously, you told me the last time that was going to be it.
No, no, most certainly did not. I was probably high when I said that, and that doesn't count.
Well, I told you I'm not helping you again.
But come on,
I can't have you risking my business.
but I do better.
Seriously, I almost got caught the last time.
Ha! I'll do it then. I
Yeah,
put the
that's what
little
I
card
thought.
back.
Do you want to roll another D100?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Sure.
$32.
32.
You find a knife that looks kind of familiar. It looks like something that you pawned that used to belong to your uncle. In fact, you're pretty sure this is the exact knife that you pawned a few moons ago to get some of your.
Oh,
It somehow made its way here, and the leather wrapping around the hilt has been dyed purple. But you recognize the engraving on like the pommel. It's pretty distinct because it had your uncle's initials in it.
yeah, I'd steal it back, but he's a gnome, so I'm not. So
Right
yeah.
next to
buy it with your money.
it, right next to it. Yeah, it is 2 gold for the knife.
Well, I'd be a lot more generous with my money if I get my drugs, cause then I'll be fine.
I'm pretty. You
Um,
also have like the most money out of everybody right
I
now.
do. I have 22 gold right now, but I don't know how much them drugs are gonna be. Who knows? So,
Mm. You
hmm.
also see like a pipe that's right next to the knife, and whenever you pick it up and like you kind
You
of
know what though? I don't need a knife because I don't even have a knife. Or okay, I'll give. How about 1 gold
For
for the
the
knife?
for the knife?
Yeah.
Are you still interested in the
and he kind of like scratches his nose.
No, not anymore. I used to have that kind of thing, but I'm looking for something very specific. It's a certain kind of power to, get me up and going. Be able to make me do my jobs a little bit better.
Oh, well, I do have some of these are your friends, right?
Well, I do jobs.
They're not gonna rat us out.
Oh no, they're not. Narcs.
Okay. Well, I can give you some of the stuff I'm using right now. It's pretty good.
And you kind of like he's a little jittery, and it's the purple stuff that he was smoking whenever that he had like, basically like fogged up his own shop with before you opened up the door. And just being in here, you kind of especially kind of you kind of feel like there's a little bit of residualness kind of get waking you up a little bit.
He's just like, I'll let you have some for it because it's my personal stuff, and it takes a bit for me to get it back. But for you, brother to brother, uh, 9 gold, and you can
So,
have what I got.
yep,
Okay, okay.
yep,
Okay,
there
you
it
got.
is. There's 9 gold.
And he'll hand you a bag of like this purple looking, it's like violet purple looking weed, and
Brother to brother.
he also gives you a little silver badge in the shape of a 5-pointed star to go along with it,
I'll just throw that in for you.
and he gives you a wink.
All right. Oh,
He
and then I'll
basically
give him
gives
an
you like
extra gold for the knife, so 10 gold.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, wait, thank you.
Well, that's everything I did.
Anything else?
Well, Zlob, it
Yeah.
has been a pleasure. You have made a lot of people's evening today. And I think we will be off. If no one else has anything, goodbye. And no, bye. And I'll leave the
Well,
shop.
good luck.
And he like waves his hand.
Rookie stuffs the cool obsidian shard into his pocket.
It is warm in your pocket.
The only reason I bought it is because it was warm instead of cold. And I'm like, that's interesting.
So going towards the bar.
Yeah, the Skuro dragon looks like a ruin. Both of the front-facing windows are smashed. A ship's anchor is lodged in the roof somehow. Must have gotten blown up there during a storm. Through the windows, as you approach, you can see a group of haggard-looking patrons drinking from huge tankards. They're not. It looks just like a dive for dock workers. They don't exactly look most friendly of sorts.
I will flounce through the middle of this incredibly dingy bar up to the bar and the barman.
Before we get to the bar, would I have time for like on the way walking there to take like a little toke or something like that of this stuff to try it out?
Yes.
Because if I do, I'm gonna look right at Dell in the face. You really got stop me from getting this stuff anymore.
I fucking hate you. You so much.
All right, so yes, you guys approach. You say anything?
Yeah. Barman of some description, incredibly grim. I'm imagining.
Incredibly grim.
All right. You had the pleasure to entertain a few noble folk the other day. I believe they did not make it more than a few steps from the outside of your bar before encountering some local color. I know you might not be used to gossip, but maybe we could make a compromise. And he's kind of like presenting money onto the bar and pointing towards any kind of bottle he reckon. You know what? Any bottle that looks the prettiest in this incredibly grimy place.
The barman kind of like looks down at the gold and like looks back up at you expectantly.
Any information you would have would be really useful. And he just like pushes some more gold. And a second bottle. And he kind of points to another one. Is dingy and suspect.
And the barman will sniff and kind of like wipe his hand across like the or the back of his hand across his nose. Very, very unsanitary. And
Yeah, there's like a small twitch. Oh.
he'll get the bottles down, put them across, and he'll be like, "Yeah, we had Volo, what's his face
Mm-hmm.
in here the other
Mm-hmm.
night. He was with a friend. They were, you know, loud."
Yes, and you prefer and he like looks around to all the grim-faced patrons. They're quiet. He's just like slightly quieter than he was before.
Or, people that don't treat my patrons like they're curiosities to ogle at.
What? These hard-working folk? Men of the sea, men of so many different places and cultures. I mean, we're all people here.
Suppose. But yeah, after that fancy lad with the hat left, his friend stayed and
Mm-hmm.
kept drinking. He made friends with another guy at the bar. Another nobleman coming down here to slum.
Mm-hmm.
And like the barmaid next to him is like,
Oh yeah, it was rain. I never Ember came boy and spent some time with that Floon, I think his name was.
Raina never Ember.
Yeah, the son of the last open lord. Chip off the old block, that one.
she giggles.
Just
Wow.
another spoiled rich noble who likes to rub our noses in it.
He's a charming fellow.
Indeed.
They drank and had a few rounds. They played three dragon ante all night and then left about midnight.
Did they leave with anyone? Attract anyone's attention?
Well, there were a couple of folks that followed them out, but I didn't recognize them.
Oh no? None of them, and he kind of like rubs the back of his neck with none of them with a scaly fascination.
I don't quite remember.
She says, like rubbing at the corner of her eye, and like the bartender kind of gives her a look and walks away.
Sure. I mean, of course, my darling. If I can do anything to jog that memory, and he's gonna like lean in with like coin between his fingers.
The ones you would doll.
She says, and like she'll take like the coin between two of her fingers and tuck it into a wrinkly bosom. Because a little older lady, barfly, for sure.
It's like, I think they've seen them around a warehouse in Candlelight. The one with the snake symbol on the door.
Candelaine, you say the snake symbol?
Yeah, they've been about there. Didn't look like they're working, but they're in and out there a lot.
That is good to know. Be nice to meet with some old friends.
I don't think they were very friendly with Raina. They were whispering and tittering to themselves the entire time the ex-son of the open lord was in.
You think they were after Reina rather than this Floon character?
Well, they were definitely paying attention to both of them, but they had their eyes on. They came in after Raina came in.
I see. And this was 2 nights ago? Last night?
A few nights ago.
A few
I
nights
think,
ago.
yeah.
Excellent. Well, you know, all of us strangers to this city, uh, outcasts and the like, we have to stick together. Got to
Mm,
make a living.
I suppose. And she kind of like creases her eyes, kind of confused at where you're getting at.
He takes a drink of whatever the drink, one of the bottles was given to him was
Tastes awful.
awful. He manages to mask the awfulness. Uh, thank you for your uh, contribution. This will go some way to making this night very memorable. And your name? And he'll like beckon with his hand to hold hers.
Oh, my name's Indrid.
A pleasure to meet you. It is always good to find a friendly face.
Oh, I've got the friendliest of faces and other things too, you know.
Of course you do. Maybe when I've seen my friends, I will see you back here. And like, without a moment's pause, kind of uh, give her the fanged grin again, squeeze of the hand, and
She
he'll
titters.
be on his way. How much gold did all the bribing cost me? Or silver, or whatever they were willing
2 gold.
to take? 2 gold. Excellent.
And don't forget, you got swill.
I did get swill. He's going to take the swill. I'm sure he won't get arrested for open carry or anything in this area. So,
As long as you're not pissing on a noble or anybody else, you'll probably be fine.
he will avoid pissing on himself then for fear of being arrested. So he has a bottle and a half, 3/4 of swill, perhaps. He'll like give a look to Vethia. There are not many notes in this. If you want some, you can take some, but this is not an education unless it isn't something awful. That he'll only say that when he's out of the bar because he's not going to ruin the night.
Right, so you guys head out of the skewered dragon, heading towards Candle Lane, your destination. You have an eyewitness that saw old Floon getting jumped with this Raynar fellow. And as you're heading towards Candle Lane and the warehouses there, that is where we shall call a session.
All right.
Awesome.
Woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Kidnapping.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll just give him some rocks.
And they can't get anywhere, so they'll be safe.
I think that was well worth it.
Well, I hope you
I
all
do too.
had fun.
I did.
I did. Thank
Yeah.
you.